This is it. This is
We're finally here.
the death.
What are we
of-
gonna do?
We're just-
What are we
just
gonna do?
Drive into.
I have cable. I should have BBC. I should have.
You should.
I should.
You should. You should.
I should.
You should.
I could record it. We could give a.
That's true.
We could give a per episode reaction
That'd
review.
be huge.
Yeah.
That'd be so big.
Anyway, when are they coming out?
November, I
Oh
believe.
boy.
Yeah. So this is series 13. This is Grizz Gibble's final foyer. This is the end of Jodie Whittaker. This is the end of my life. This is.
I mean, this is really just the end of anything at all, if you think about it.
Yeah, and this series is super short. It's 9 episodes. It's 6 and 3 specials. 6 episodes. And Chris Chibnall's done something kind of interesting here. He's gone back to the classic Who formula, where like one episode would be really like 5 episodes or 6 episodes, like the storyline spans that many, and that's kind of like how the series is laid out. In this, we have 1 episode, which is Flux, that's split into 6 chapters, and then 3 specials.
More like flush, am I right?
Before
Flush this whole series down the toilet.
before we get into it, to the surprise of all of us, and perhaps the slow development of Stockholm syndrome, I actually quite liked this season. I thought it's not great, but
Yeah,
it was
passable.
pretty good. It was watchable, and sometimes it was approaching better than just pretty good.
Yeah, it was almost like Chris Chibnall decided to have mercy on us for his final run, because, oh boy.
Or Chris Chibnall died making Series 12, and they just had AIs.
They brought in that could be they brought in the Chris Chibnall clone.
Yeah, Grizz Gibble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I genuinely enjoyed this series somewhat, and we'll get into that at the end, of course. But it does start out a little rough.
Hold on, Dalton, you just got killed by mid-ear. How does that make you feel?
Mid-ear?
Yeah, exactly. You just got killed by someone with mid in their name. All right, what's the first episode? Flux. Let's go.
Yeah, so we start in the Flux storyline. The first episode is the Halloween Apocalypse.
Oh.
Which we were very worried when this was the first episode.
I mean, these first couple episodes are actually some of the worst, so...
Yeah, no, I think they are easily the worst of the series.
Yeah.
That being said, they're not irredeemable. They're not, the Timeless Child or the other shit we've gotten from him. They're just kind of like... Meh.
But it's no Return of the Sea Devils. What's it called?
Yeah, well,
Curse
we'll
of
get
the
to
Sea
that.
Devils?
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
We're not there yet. So yeah, this episode opens with Yaz and the Doctor on like a green fart gas planet, and they're flying around, and it gives you a brain tumor listening to them.
The antagonist is like, even if you escape,
I'm
gonna
destroy Earth. And that guy ends up being the dog, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember what they're called.
I know. It's
This dog race.
it's gone from my mind, which is amazing because I think this is we did better this time. It's only been a week and a half since we finished the series
Instead of several months.
instead of 9 months or something. Yeah. So they get out of that, and we're looking at this because this looks just terrible. It's like a terrible green screen. They're yelling.
I don't think the acid planet escape flying through the air thing looked that bad, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was it wasn't no Sea Devils.
That's fair. Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but it's still like, wow, okay, this is what we're in for.
Yeah, it was. They started out the way you love. They start out an episode with that bombastic action-packed style.
Right. Yeah.
You love that, right?
Yeah, it makes me not want to kill myself. Or wait a minute.
Anyway, this series arc
Anyways.
is pretty schizo, and I think that's why it's somewhat redeemable.
Yeah, no, I honestly think that's why it works. This feels like a half-cocked Moffat plot, which Moffat plots are already half-cocked. So you cut that into 4, and you're like, what is happening here? And then you're like, okay, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
So we're introduced, we go back to Earth, we get to calm down for a little bit. We're introduced to Dan, who is our new companion for the Flush series line.
He's faking being a museum guide tour to get close to the one-armed actual museum guide tour.
Yep. And
because he just loves, where are they from, Liverpool?
Oh, they say it's so many. It's got to be Liverpool, right? I'm pretty sure.
It's something
if we get this wrong, we're going to be eaten alive. Yeah, I think it is. And yeah, he knows all the history and stuff, and he's sharing it with the people in the museum, and he's apparently been kicked out multiple times before for doing this. And Dan is pretty likable as a companion.
It is Liverpool.
I think he actually gets better once he's introduced to the group, because I like his dynamics with Yaz and with mostly just Yaz, let's be honest.
Great head of hair.
He's got great hair. Handsome guy. He talks really funny because he's from Liverpool.
Yeah.
And so we get his introduction, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get drinks with you later, love." And then he never gets drinks with her.
There's a woman, Claire, who sees the future and goes up to the doctor and says something esoteric, and then runs away, and then a weeping angel gets her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Dan ends up getting kidnapped by the dog creature.
The Lupari.
There we go, yeah. The Lupari. Kidnaps him because we find out this species is bonded to humans
in some way,
to like protect them. So each
bonded.
Yeah, exactly. Each member of the species has a joint member of humanity that they're like bound to protect, basically.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea. And that we get some banter
because the
there.
flux is coming, and the division and the series arc is coming.
Wait a minute. Then why is my...
We keep getting these allusions to something called the Division, and it seems like some kind of like esoteric organization that's sort of like doing some weird clandestine things relating to the Doctor. And then there's also the Flux. There's this guy. What's his name?
Swarm.
No.
Which guy?
Oh yeah, that happens first actually.
Yeah.
No, the guy on the satellite.
Oh, Vinder. Vincent V. Vinder.
Vinder is on a
like
satellite,
observation satellite.
And he observes the flux, which is something that's like tearing apart all like matter and reality.
Yeah, it seems like, and this is a cool idea. Basically, it's almost like, at least as I understood, kind of like an electromagnetic field that suspends the magnetic field that holds together subatomic particles. So like atoms just fall apart. So it like destroys space, essentially, which is a cool idea, and it looks pretty cool. Like the shots of space look good. I wish they were maybe more empty at times.
Looks like shit. It just looks like a big hairball
fart
to me.
Yeah. Giant fart Christian tuck.
It is. It really is.
And then we're also introduced to Swarm, who is being held by Division, and then he breaks out somehow. It's never really made clear. He just kind of does.
He's like the main villain of the arc.
He eats a lady alive, sucks her dry, and then becomes Red Skull.
He becomes Red Skull with like
dripped out
horns
Red
growing
Skull.
out of his head. Yeah. So as we go on to like meet these main antagonists of the series, they actually grow on us. They're like they're pretty drippy. They're pretty drippy. They say some pretty funny things. They're like, "You are linear" or something. You are a linear creature, because they're like cosmic beings. They're pretty funny.
They are pretty funny. Yeah. So we don't meet all these people yet, but we have Swarm, who's kind of our main one, the Red Skull guy. Then there's this lady who's out in Antarctica with like her husband, and she's like,
"Oh my gosh, that never gets explained."
Yeah. No. Well, sort of.
When?
Well, she is Azure.
Yeah. And what else do you remember? Why? Why is she Azure?
It doesn't matter.
No, seriously, why? We never. So the flux is happening. There's this couple in Antarctica. They get a weird sci-fi thing in their basement going off, giving them like.
And she's like, never again.
And she kills it. But they're both still just a normal couple. They go to bed. The bad Red Skull guy shows up, Swarm, and he's like. He like disintegrates the girl's husband, and she's like, why am I happy?
Yeah.
She's like, why am I happy about that? And she's like, oh yeah. And she disintegrates and turns into his other cosmic being girlfriend, and that never gets explained. Thank you, Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I think he or she is his sister, although it's not really made clear.
Yeah, they're just like cosmic beings tied to each other in some way.
Yeah, he really does just never address that.
What the?
That's so funny. You know what? I take it back. I love Chris Chibnall. This guy's awesome.
No, shut up. After all the pain he's put us through, it's not going away.
So basically, some things happen. The Lupari show up and they set up this shield to protect Earth from the flux. And the Doctor is like flying around, and then the TARDIS gets hit, and the episode ends. I don't remember if I'm missing anything. I probably am. That's basically it. Right?
I think Centaurans get revealed at like the end of the episode. Yep. And like
the Centaurans want to use the flux to their advantage, which becomes a bigger thing later on. But yeah.
Oh, and the Lupari like show up to Earth, but they like start protecting the Earth from the flux by like creating a massive shield.
Yeah, they join their ships together to form a formation. And that's basically the end of the first episode of this first like chapter in the flux. It's a very disorienting start. It's not a great start, but it's also not the worst thing ever.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the flux almost eats the TARDIS, and they go on to like, some unknown destination.
The Doctor ends up shooting some of the time vortex out of the TARDIS into the flux, and I don't think it's ever made clear if that did anything or not.
Maybe,
because that's like maybe why time's disintegrating later, although that's also has like to do with like Atropos. I don't know. Well, I don't know.
It's really
so schizo. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll just go to the notes here.
All right.
You can tell where I was when this started out because the first note is just why. Followed by, Yaz does not hold up in this scene, only as a companion and comparison to absolute mediocrity.
Wow.
I really went existential.
When did that one get in there?
I don't think that's true, actually. I think she's very good in this series, but not in that
been
first
good
scene.
In this episode.
Yeah, just that first scene, I think. I love these notes that are just making fun of British accents and what it sounds like they're saying. This one's still fought and go. Whatever he said there. Mass Effect. That's when Division was with Swarm. I'm walking into my flat. I'm opening the door. I'm unlocking the door.
Oh yeah.
I'm closing the door. I'm going in now. I'm closing the door.
Was that Dan? That had like a really weird Dan, breakdown where he was like saying everything aloud.
Yeah, I think that was our big problem with this episode and the next one.
Yeah, some of this season just had some obnoxious moments where like the characters. I mean, it was even worse than the previous two where they just
absolutely
have to explain everything. Yeah, you can't just like let a moment play out.
Yeah, that's something we noticed, maybe just in this episode, I don't quite remember, but just the idea of visual storytelling's gone. Like, we can't even see someone open the door. They're like, I'm opening this door. Yeah.
Or like, I'm going home. You can't build tension without somebody saying, this is weird. Something's not right.
Something's not right. Yeah. And then Diane also, we should mention, who is the girl Dan is interested in from the museum, gets sucked into a prisoner at the end. She gets sucked. We don't know that yet, but that's what happens.
Something weird happens to her, and it's schizo. Between that and then, what was it, Diane? That is Diane.
That is Diane.
The other girl.
Claire, right?
Yeah. She gets taken by Weeping Angel.
She's like, you don't know me yet.
Yeah, and it just, we never see anything again that episode about it, so we're like, all right.
Okay.
This is going to be that kind of, all right, go off, King.
My next note is Jedi now. I don't know what that refers to.
The Doctor's always doing things.
Yeah, like Jedi things. This is good. They like shrinking. Like Chris Chibnall's dick. Honey, I shrunk Chris Chi Ball dick.
Oh, no.
It's already happening. Why do aliens use IQ as a measurement? That human thing they came up with. They
just said intelligence.
Yeah, they should have. Who the duck is Marty?
What? What is? I don't even know what that's.
I don't know either. I think I like vaguely remember. There was a line or something someone said. They're like, and then you'll be Marty. Like it's like it's a British expression or something. I don't know.
Or what? Did it have to do with like Dan's neighbors or something?
Maybe I don't know. Who is Marty? The Flush. The spaghetti, which I think
looked
is
like a bunch of spaghetti.
I have this as a 2 out of 10. I don't know if it's that bad. It's probably more like a 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it at a 2, but yeah. And then we move into the second part.
This is probably the worst, maybe.
Which is, I think it's a little better than the last one.
Really?
But I don't know.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know.
Who cares?
They're the same. Which is War of the Centaurans. So the Doctor and Yaz and Dan land, and they're in Crimea in
1802.
Very early 1800s, and they find out they're in the Crimean War there between the Prussians and Russia and all these forces.
Really the Russians this time.
Yeah, it's not the Russians. It's the Centaurans.
Not the Russians or the Chinese. It's the Centaurans.
Centaur. Yeah, we'll get to that. And they run into.
NATO changes the star to a TARDIS. They should do that in real life. All right.
They find Mary Seacole.
Mary Seacole.
Who is a Jamaican lady who was there historically and created the British Hotel, which is like a traveling hospital kind of for people that were wounded. I don't know if her accent is real or not. I found it incredibly fake and annoying, but it could be real.
It could have been the actress.
Yeah,
it seemed like it could have been fake.
Yeah, it might be real, and I might just not like Jamaican accents, but it seemed very fake to me. Which is just a side note. Basically, the Doctor and Yaz and Dan get separated. Yaz ends up in the Temple of... No. She does eventually. No, Vinder's there first.
Yeah, and then
maybe that happened last episode. Then Yaz ends up there. Where does Dan go?
He goes back to his timeline.
That's right. Yeah, the Centaurans are there. Yeah, that's right.
And the Centaurans are there because, like, for some reason they've placed themselves into, like, the Empire of Russia.
Yeah.
Where it should have been forever. Because they say, like, it's always been Centaur.
Right.
And it's like, so is this... like the Flux messing with time, or is it just the Centaurans independently messing with time? It's never made clear. And it's also like, so the Doctor solves it and gets rid of, she solves it and gets rid of the Centauran problem at the end of the episode. But they also do it separately.
Right.
In Liverpool in modern day.
Right. It's made very unclear. They're making time ships in Liverpool in modern day, which is, I guess, how they travel back and change the history there. But also, it seems like it might be part of the Flux.
We're just not paying attention.
Maybe. It's made clear that the Flux doesn't like destroy time. It destroys space. However, when both Yaz and Vinder are at Atropos, which is a really cool idea. It's the planet called Time in the Temple of Atropos, and basically there's these guardians that are powerful beings, and they keep time in control so it doesn't go all haywire and weird.
Swarm and Zura are after.
Yeah, exactly.
They show up shortly.
Because they're servants of Time, who is also a cosmic being, which is a cool idea, and I like it. Yeah. It would have been cooler if it was like Russell T Davies doing it, but, whatever.
If Russell T Davies was Time. He shows up like...
hey guys, I'm Time! How do I? And 2 or 3 of the Guardians have been destroyed. And one of the robots is trying to get it repaired through either Vinder or through Yaz. So it suggests that somehow the Flux maybe affected the physical matter of the planet, which has affected time in that way. So two of the Guardians are gone, so maybe it's easier for the Suntarans to mess with time. Maybe that it's kind of muddled the timelines. It's not super clear, or we just didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's whatever.
So they're all split up, and Dan's doing his thing in Liverpool, trying to take out the Suntarans by himself, and meet his parents. And they're boring, and
they're just every companion's parents.
He gets onto the ship. This is probably like for some reason one of the most boring moments for me. Just like him trying to get onto this entire ship and like figure out how to stop it. And then what's his name? The Lupari guy. Carvanista shows up and helps him.
Yeah.
And
because he's still bound to him.
But that's all that happens there. So who cares? The other stuff.
Yep.
Is Doctor helping Mary C. Cole and whoever this Prussian? They're the Prussian ones, right? They're on the Prussian side because Russia.
I think they're British.
Oh, they're British. Yeah. Well, duh.
Yeah. Because I think he has the line like "for the Queen" or whatever. Course, yeah.
No, you're right. They're all lobster backs. Yeah. They're all in the red coats. Mm-hmm. And freaking,
it's just kind of boring, honestly. Yeah.
It's kind of weird and bad.
Something that is worth...
They do the exact same thing at the end where she, like, gives the Suntarans a chance to leave because she, like, destroyed all their supplies or some shit.
Right.
And
right. And he blows them all up with, like, 1800s dynamite.
Yeah, the British commander lights a comically long fucking wick
fuse
that goes all the way into this valley and rigged all of these separate ships and blew them all up perfectly, like these sci-fi future-ass ships.
I respect how Chris Chibnall's priorities have changed, though, because literally she goes, "Why'd you do that?" And then it ends, instead of us getting a 30-minute long, like,
well, because it's like overblown at that point. Like, it's already been done. So, like, he just quickly needed to throw in there the Doctor going, they were retreating.
They were scared.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we've done this. Like, and it was really dubious how he could even get away with it that time.
It was,
versus like Christmas Invasion, where it is modern.
They've stolen.
It was modern day, and they just stole alien tech and used it to create this fucking Death Star beam and destroy this shit. That was cool as fuck. And then the Doctor...
You look ill.
And then the Doctor... the Doctor actually, like, creates consequences for that action he didn't like by being, like, to the Prime Minister at the time... Or was it just Prime Minister?
Prime Minister, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think she was up for re-election or something, and he was like... It's like, I can destroy your whole thing in 3 words. Like, doesn't she look ill? And, yeah.
Yep, got her.
That was epic.
That was cool.
But this one just moved on right away.
And I respect that, because I don't want another ham-fisted speech from Chris Chibnall.
I would rather just, if it's not going to be profound in any way and feel very ham-fisted, just don't even do it.
Yeah, honestly. She just goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. They were scared.
Something that is worth talking about, though, we touched on this last episode. You brought it up last episode, in that BBC has always been, historically, always will be, essentially propaganda.
Yeah,
it is. It's a propaganda station
for every news network, every media network. For sure.
All media is biased, right?
Yeah.
And of course, the corporate-owned, state-owned media is going to have a certain bias to it, and because of that, sometimes it shines through maybe a little more than other times. The most interesting part of this episode, for me at least, because I was so bored through the rest, is how, first of all, during this time, they choose to pick the Crimean War in Crimea. Mm-hmm. Interesting pick. Yeah, I wonder if that was motivated for anything. Yeah.
Or 2021.
I think this is end of 2021.
Yep.
So they choose to pick Crimea. Interesting. And oh, interesting. The Russians have been replaced with Sontar, this mindless state that is, nothing but evil, nothing but military aggression.
It's an empire.
It's an evil empire that wants to
take over the world.
And they don't even stop at that. not only has Russia been taken over by Sontar, but China too. Russia and China are Sontar. Interesting. The two
parity powers to
NATO.
Yeah, the global hegemony of the United States.
Fascinating. Yeah, I wonder if that was motivated in any way.
Let's be honest, the British Isles aren't an independent state.
No, absolutely not. They're run by the U.S. Same with every Western nation. At this point, and it is. When they took that map out, it was very funny. It was very funny. It's just like China and Russia, they're just Sontar. It's like,
what do you mean? They've always been there, and they're like, don't show the map. It's like, Sontar over China and Russia. Damn.
Oh my goodness! It was just. I honestly think that might be the single most blatant, most propaganda attack we have ever seen in this show, which is saying a lot because but there's a lot of Doctor Who.
I can picture it in my mind. The average Doctor Who viewer, they don't.
Oh, they don't know.
They're
absolutely
not picking up on that.
Right. They consume what Western media and big media has fed them, and they're like, oh yeah,
this is a red pill podcast.
Yeah, we do it. You know, that's. Like people either don't notice it at all. No, but this
is totally blatant, and I can also see a lot of people not even like picking up on it at the same time.
Exactly. It's just
the way it is.
It's so fascinating to me. And then, like you said, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's funny to think about. Their Chinese funders watch this episode, and they're like, "You need to make an episode."
They do a Chinese. They do an ancient Chinese or like a age of.
Like
exploration for China later and have Chinese characters, and it's like, so it's obviously meant to like humanize and have a good life.
But they don't do that for Russia. Yeah.
So it's like, obviously, in fact, they have the Master play Rasputin, leading astray the Tsars to their death.
That's so funny.
Leading astray the Romanovs.
That's good. Yeah,
that's epic.
That is epic. Yeah. Anyways, that's probably the most interesting thing from this episode. And then it ends with Swarm and Azure showing up at Atropos, and they put Vinder and Yaz in the time stream to hold time as makeshift time people. And that's the cliffhanger for this one. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, I've got cool visuals. I guess it started with cool visuals. I don't know. I think I'm thinking of the battlefield with the fog and smoke. I thought it looked pretty good.
I think so.
This is good. Wikipedia article. This is in reference to Mary Seacold because she shows up.
Everything that happens with her within the first
is in the first paragraph of the Wikipedia article.
Yeah, exactly.
She's just like, I'm Mary Seacold. Oh, I'm this. I'm this.
Personally, I think that's fine because it's like you only have so many minutes in an episode, and when you're trying to shoehorn in historical figures, especially ones that are a little less known,
right, a little more obscure,
you're gonna just have like.
I just find it funny. Yeah, it's a very Chris Chibnall thing to do. I'm sure. Moffat and Davies did this too in their historical ones. I just can't remember.
Right.
But it was just funny because you pull up the Wikipedia article and read the first paragraph and that's it. Yeah. How am I meant to cope? I don't know what that's in reference
Maybe
to.
Like the commander not having enough troops or something?
Probably,
I don't know.
Yeah.
How am I meant to cope? Maybe dance at it. I don't fucking know.
This sounds like a damn thing. China and Russia are Sontar.
Yep.
We have to get the Centaurans out of the Crimea. One of the best lines of the episode.
Oh my! We have to get them out of Crimea. Yeah, this is during the early phases of the Ukraine war, right?
Yeah. Funny stuff. They drip the fuck out. That's in reference to Swarm and Azure.
Oh yeah, they were dripping
in their black Halloween costumes.
It was good. It was good stuff.
Such linear creatures.
Yep,
that's good. It was scared.
Me looking at the average Doctor Who viewer.
Such linear creatures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is also where we get the backstory of Vinder a little bit. He used to work for an organization or a person called the Grand Serpent, which is never really explained. We see him show up later.
It's just some empire out in space.
Exactly. And he basically speaks up and is like, the Grand Serpent murdered these people, and publishes the report, and that's how he ended up kind of exiled on the...
And he's got a space GF out there looking for him because they've both been separated by the flux.
Yeah, and we find out that she is pregnant as well later on. Belle, yep. But this is where this note comes from. This is a line from the Grand Serpent. Everybody wins. Sinister music plays. Slowly turns head.
Yeah, Vinder said that because he was like, it's
that's
like a great idea.
Everybody wins. And there's like,
I was really hoping the Grand Serpent would literally just be a giant.
Literally a giant serpent,
snake, but it's just some dripped out guy.
He turns out to be way more fun than I thought he would be.
Guy. He's a good actor, though.
He was in this episode. I was like, oh boy, this guy. Yeah. And then going forward, his storyline's kind of fun, and he does some like silly things. This next episode
was that all your notes?
Yeah.
Okay, this next episode is actually kind of good because it started getting more schizo because they went in time.
Yes.
So they're like jumping all over the place.
They're stuck in their own time stream to like contain their mind.
Yeah, like the Doctor, Yaz, and Vinder like go into time somehow from this temple of Atropos while Swarm and Azure are trying to like mess them up, and like through their time streams they're scrambled, and like each member of the party is like being replaced by like another random figure in that person's history.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like it's interesting. It's quite entertaining. It keeps your attention.
It is, yeah,
because you're like, it's very trippy.
So for me, War of the Centaurans is a 2 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
The episode we're talking about now is Once Upon Time. Basically, exactly like you said, it's a long extended dream sequence. Very interesting coming from Chris Chibnall, very unique for his era in that it is this weird, surreal dream, and it's a really good character exploration as well, because we get to see inside these characters' minds and different situations they've been in.
Like, this is where we get I guess if you had that note the last time, that's where we got the Great Serpent backstory. But we get more.
We get how he got exiled in this, right? Because Yaz replaces
which
the
actually
officer.
Does make Vinder like bounds more interesting. Like, I think his story, that kind of like evil empire that he came from, and him like not wanting to do the cover up and getting banished. Like, that was good. And he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, he is.
And sprinkled throughout is also this callback, this integration of the Weeping Angel, which is going to be an allusion to like what's to follow next in the following episode. So that was good.
Yeah,
like Weeping Angels Moffat definitely made them feel like overblown. Yeah. And even Chibnall, of course, when he took over, like put them in the
prison, and
it's just it's just when you see them.
Like, remember this?
At this point in Doctor Who, if you see a Weeping Angel, you're just like, oh boy, it just feels like overused. But this was a little more sinister or interesting because it was just the one, and it's like, and you are wondering, like, it's more than just, oh, this is the threat. It's like, what is it doing here? Like, why is it here? So that was good too.
Yeah, that was good. This episode opens with our introduction to Belle and her monologue and what she's up to, and her
because of
around.
that I thought this was going to be bad.
Yeah, jumping around.
I didn't like it at all.
The universe looking for Vinder.
She's like a refugee of the flux.
Yeah, that's what she calls herself, I think.
Something like that. It just felt very like, I'm pretty sure she's an adult woman, but it felt very like early
YA,
2000s
dystopia,
like preteen girl in the apocalypse, like typical story, like what's it called, Hunger Games or Divergent. Yeah, it just felt corny.
Yeah, it did. I agree. And part of that was her delivery in the narration. It kind of felt very Harrison Ford from Blade Runner, just indifferent to the lines. But I think she gets better as it goes on as well. She's not super interesting in this, but as it goes on, she starts to build a little more character.
She's almost there to like try and make Vinder somehow more interesting, but it's like I feel like you could have just done more with him without that in some ways.
It's possible,
He could have just been better just as a singular. But I guess I don't know. I guess you need to give him a motivation like beyond the Grand Serpent thing. Like what's next for him? It's like this girl, and like her motivation. They're getting back to each other or whatever. I don't know.
I think this is the episode where things start to get explained. So we have two disparaging plots in this in the Flux that make it confusing. We have the cosmic time Azure swarm side of things, and then we have the division side of things. And we don't get the division answer till a little later, but we start to get that swarm Azure side of things because
Doctor starts going back. This is like a callback to the last like Timeless Child arc.
Yep.
The Doctor starts going into her own time stream into memories that she doesn't know, like into the past, like that she isn't even aware of. Her one of her first generations or whatever. The I don't know her.
They call her the fugitive Doctor, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Whatever. One from last season. Yeah. What was her name in that episode? No, Grace was the other lady.
What do you mean? What they called her?
Yeah,
the
before
past
she
Doctor
remembered.
version?
No, just like what her name. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, she starts going back. She realizes she's been to Atropos before. That the Lipari was on her team and knew her. That they've dealt with Swarm and Azure before, kind of what these passenger things are. Yeah, a bunch of different stuff kind of starts getting thrown in.
I don't remember like where Dan is. I'm even like reading the synopsis.
Dan gets the most insane stuff because he's just like walking alone with Diane, and then he turns and she's just like gone, and he's just like alone in Liverpool and stuff.
Yeah, okay. When did he even get there?
I don't know. I honestly don't remember.
Because at the end of the Centauran one, she goes back to the present day and picks up Dan, and then it gets hijacked. The TARDIS like goes to the temple.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's mostly just an extended dream sequence, kind of like we said. We get a lot of characterization, a lot of things, and we start to build this backstory with Division, with Swarm, with Azure, all these different things. I don't actually have a whole lot else to say on this one.
No.
That's kind of it. It's a pretty simple episode.
Yeah.
My notes here are Chai Ball has cracked. And the only other note, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, why is she called Doctor Back in Time?
What?
Oh, wait. No, it makes sense now that I've read it out loud. Why do they call her when she's in Atropos the Doctor still? Is that just a memory thing, or is it because
why is she?
Because she didn't adopt that name yet, right?
Yeah.
She adopted that name when she ran away.
That is true. Why would she be called that is so true.
Yeah.
And that never gets resolved.
No, of course not.
Because fucking, oh man, I hope Davies just has a field day. Just completely erases everything. He's like back to the drawing board.
Anyways, I like this episode a lot. I've given it a 5 out of 10. It's bordering on a 6.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought we got really good characterization from Yaz, from Dan, even from Vinder, honestly.
Yeah. And I recall how it ends. I mean, the Doctor basically fixes everything. Vinder goes back to the Flux destroyed planet of his to start looking for Bell.
Yep.
And then she escapes on the TARDIS, I guess, away from Swarm and Azure, right? Or did they just leave?
I think they just left, honestly.
They like got what they wanted or some shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then that's when a Weeping Angel, the Weeping Angel that's been...
hijacks the TARDIS.
Yeah.
The angels have the phone box.
Remember that? I've got that on a t-shirt.
I've got that on a t-shirt. I love that line. And then, speaking of angels, the next episode is Village of Angels. This, as we mentioned, starts with the lone angel hijacking the TARDIS and landing it in this English village. I'm not sure if it's the 60s, right?
Yeah, 67?
I think so. Yeah, and so we have Professor Jericho, who is this awesome character who I really liked.
Claire,
honestly.
yeah, this is where Claire's been taken by the Weeping Angel, and she's seer, I guess.
Yeah,
and he's running tests on her. What is he? What is this? Just a reading brainwaves?
Yeah, he's. We don't get a lot of specifics on him, but he's just someone who wants to understand what isn't understood. So he's just doing this to try and understand ESP and how she knows stuff and all these different things, because that's kind of his character. Is he needs to make sense of things, and yeah.
The doctor and the party, Dan, Yaz, the doctor are in the TARDIS. They boot the angel bitch out from the box, and then they show up in 67 anyway, because that's where it wanted to take them. Yep,
exactly. And this is a really fun horror episode. It's got really good character bits.
One of the first times you see the angels have motivation beyond just we're stealing your time.
We're hungry.
Yeah, it's like, because it's revealed later that they're working for the division to bring the doctor.
Yeah, so they're stuck in this village. Eventually, Yaz and Dan get zoinked into the past with a little girl. They find that everyone else is dead because the angels have double zapped them, which they're dead. Apparently. And this whole village is on the edge of space and time collapsing as well. We see it's being eaten away, and then there's just space out there, which I wish...
It's pretty typical, like, before that it gets to that stuff, that it's kind of more of a pretty typical, like, Scooby-Doo...
Yeah, it is.
Kind of like, they're, like, defending Eustace Jericho's home from the... whatever's
from the invading angels, yeah.
But then Dan and Yaz are zapped, so they're like checking out whatever's going on there.
Yeah, and I wish that space that we saw there, we talked about this, was more dead and empty and very threatening. Versus
what Gymnal loves to do with space in this is make it just so colorful.
Yeah,
and that's all well and good. Like, sometimes you want to make space really pretty in a sci-fi show, like this, but sometimes you want to make it scary.
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
You want to make it more
and
this
is kind of one of those times where it would be better like that, but what are you going to do?
Whatever.
Basically, the house gets invaded. They find a secret passage. They, being Claire and Jericho and the doctor, an image of an angel that's used again. Turns out the lone angel is inside of Claire.
Because she's a seer, so I guess she sees so vividly that the angel's hiding in her brain.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's okay. Doctor does the classic Vulcan mind trick Jedi thing, goes into her brain and starts talking to the angel who's using image of Claire in her brain to talk.
Yeah.
It's pretty
strange.
Cool, but at one point you do see the angel's like arm moving because it's holding on to Claire behind her, and Claire is moving.
Right.
So it's like, okay. Whatever.
The TV stuff's pretty fun when they're monitoring them on the TV downstairs.
Yeah, the doctor uses Claire's phone or something from modern day and hooks it up to the Sonic key. Sonic key tech.
Then they go through the cave. They're trapped. Jericho and Claire make it out. Talk to Yaz and Dan and the child outside. Realize the child is this old woman.
Because where they're zapped back in time, it's like you get to like see through like a portal into the past where space and time is like breaking.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of cool. And then the doctor gets turned into an angel and taken away.
Yeah, I guess that's how they transport her.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's fine.
It's kind of...
Who cares?
I feel like that was kind of just more of like a weird, like... They just wanted like a weird visual.
Yeah.
They just wanted like cool visual.
They wanted something that you look up and it's like, watch series 11, the doctor becomes
That's literally what I saw, and I didn't know the context, and I'm like, okay, that's dumb. And then I saw it, and I was just like, whatever.
Yeah. It's fine. The angel lore is always...
so
just evolving and convoluted, and it's whatever.
Because if they like zap you back in time to take your time and potential energy and feed off that, shouldn't they be able to just like take you anywhere?
Yeah, you'd think so.
I guess maybe
I guess they don't move you in space. I don't know, whatever.
She needs like to be able to withstand that, her body, so
I guess.
she has to look like stone.
Maybe, yeah, because I guess that would make sense considering where Division is, how it's like in between these universes. Maybe it's like a hostile transport spot, whatever.
I mean, if you're moving through space so quickly, it's bound to be violent otherwise if you're not protected. But yeah, it's not bad. I think they did pretty much like the classic Weeping Angel like tropes, but
they did.
It was done inoffensively and well, and it wasn't obnoxious.
Yeah, and something that we haven't really talked about. This is not necessarily true for the first 2 episodes, or at least the first one. Okay, it is true for the first 2. It's just like less so. This series, at least compared to previous Chris Chibnall series, is so well shot.
Oh yeah.
Like, it is an amazing difference.
This
versus...
one, it's almost like it's actually being directed.
Yeah.
As opposed to not at all.
Yeah. And along those lines, the performances are so much better.
And the characters are being directed as well.
Yeah, Yaz, who we already liked, is becoming a real companion, not just like someone who's better than Graham and Ryan.
Yeah, at the end of this episode, Doctor gets taken to Division. They get left behind in 1901, and for some reason, I guess it gets returned to space.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, but it's like, and we get to see more of that in the next episode of their character.
Yeah, and it's amazing the difference between this and Series 12 and Series 11. They've toned down the cuts. It doesn't cut every 14 seconds. Geez. It's still bad. It was
pretty bad at moments, but it did get better.
Yeah, the cinematography is so much better. They actually are willing to do atmospheric lighting versus everything's overblown and colorful and bright. It's just such a
until you get to the sci-fi laser battles.
Well,
then that's like epilepsy warning. That's bad.
Yeah, it is.
But we'll get to that. It's really bad.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna read my notes here. I don't have to. Oh, also, I think in this one we also have Vinder searching occasionally, or Bell searching occasionally.
Yeah, but it's whatever.
But it's just thrown in. Yeah, the Flux, the sucks. Not just Chai Ball. Whatever that means. Erectus Jericho. Good. Mirror shot. This is something we didn't mention. Speaking of the cinematography and the direction, there's a really cool mirror shot with Claire, who's stressing out. She goes up to the bathroom. It goes into the mirror and then back out, and she's got, it's goofy looking, but cool visual angel wings coming out of her.
Because it's in her head.
And that was, for this era, that was amazing. Killmonger, I think, is in reference to Vinder. He just looked like Killmonger from Black Panther.
He did. Oh yeah, his hair. He does have the same hair.
The arm moved. That's the angel one. Yep. This is a 6 out of 10 for me. I think this episode is pretty darn good. I would argue this might be one of, if not the best Chris Chibnall episode ever. Which a 6.
Worth a rewatch. Directed or written by, hold on, I think
it was co-written, this one.
Co-written by Chris Chibnall and where is it? Yeah, and Maxine Alderton.
Yeah, so she probably
directed by Jamie Magnus Stone,
who actually directed the other episodes of this series too. So
some of them, yeah.
So they're getting better too.
They did the first 2.
Yeah.
And those were not very good.
Yeah. So
I guess they got their crap together.
I guess so, yeah. This is 6 out of 10. I think it's very good.
Oh, you know who directed the next one? The Survivors of the Flux?
Who's that?
Azure. Salim. Is it Azure?
I really like how the next one's directed as well. So good for that. So the next episode is Survivors of the Flux. This is something I've kind of wanted to see from New Who for a long time, and have never really gotten well, which is this globe-trotting Indiana Jones adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Most of this episode is Yaz and Dan and Jericho in 1901
and
2, just going around the globe
they go all the way to 1904.
Having a hoot, yeah.
Yeah. They're like trying to. What are they trying to do?
They're trying to find out. They're trying to find out when the world ends.
And there's this subplot with this guy who's discovered something cosmic
tunnels
in
under
the tunnels of what?
Under Liverpool, I think.
Yeah, 1800s Liverpool, and he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's fun. That's most of this episode. I don't remember. Oh, this is the doctor meeting Division. Obviously, that's the other half of this episode is the doctor.
Which is basically just her mom.
Yeah, doctor arrives at Division.
It's called the Division because it's placed like in between realities.
Yeah, it's in between two multiverses.
The flux is like destroying the reality of Earth, the reality we know of.
Yeah, the reality everything in the show has been in, basically. Yeah. Because the doctor messed it up. Basically, they're like, we're tired of you saving people. We're going to destroy reality.
Oh, yeah. Fucking good gracious.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever.
And did her mother want to bring her into the new reality or like keep her in the Division?
I think she wanted to recruit her back into Division and then bring her into the new reality so that she could have control over her in the new reality. And actually, that answers one of the plot hooks I said wasn't answered earlier, which is how did Swarm escape? She let him out.
What?
She let him out. She sent out the
one
flux.
plot hole.
Yeah. Woo!
We got one. Well done, Juno.
And yeah, that's kind of fun, interesting stuff. She's got a ood serving her. She's got a chameleon arch that has all the doctor's old memories inside of it.
And that's kind of like seen as the potential, like what? Is MacGuffin the right word?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
basically.
It's just a plot device that's like, it's just seen as like the potential intrigue for the doctor, that episode, but like comes down to a choice whether or not like she gets to see the old memories but have to leave like this reality.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let it be destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the whole episode.
For one of our favorite episodes, we don't really have a lot to say about it.
That's just kind of the two plot. I guess we can talk a little more about the globetrotting because that's the part I really like about this.
Yeah, Yaz and Dan.
Yaz and Dan build like a genuinely very good relationship.
Yeah, they
really
feel
good
like
chemistry.
They have like a real friendship. Like Dan's just a pleasant guy, believably pleasant guy, and you start to get the inklings of Yaz's feelings for the doctor.
Yeah, a little bit.
They're more than just.
Yeah, 'cause she has the hologram that she's watching over and over again.
Yeah, and Dan says, "What does he say?
I have it in here.
Over that hologram or something."
Oh no, I don't have it in here. No.
Okay, he says something really British, and you have no idea.
He says something. He's like, "You come twice to that hologram," or something. Oh my
god, it was bad. I don't know.
No. I was watching. I can see you loved her. You basically half come or something like that.
You basically have come to that hologram. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He probably didn't say anything like that. We're just fucking insane. They use what I would only assume is metric tons of white paint to paint a message.
To paint right outside the Great Wall.
Yeah, that somehow
it's like help dog or something.
Yeah, messages Cavernista.
Yeah,
about
can
them,
read in the future.
I guess.
Like it wouldn't get destroyed over 100 years, but whatever.
Whatever.
That's where we get Dan's beard
with
for
a beard
one
for
scene.
half a second. And it looked really good, but you never see it again.
Yeah, and you have them on the ship. That's where he says,
costumes.
"You have come." And all three of them work so well together. Yeah. It is amazing Chris Chibnall wrote this.
He can have his moments with characters.
He can, absolutely. And because this is so
Apparently
much...
not in his own era, though. only in Moffat's era.
This is so fun with the characters because Jericho, you have like a literal Looney Tunes moment as the like big guy who's working for the Grand Serpent comes in and he's like, one lump or two. And he hits Jericho on the head.
He hits him. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was good.
Dan's the stowaway. He's hiding under the bed. You have him climb up into Nepal or Tibet or something, and they meet a seer who's just fucking with them the whole time. Yeah, they make it to the caverns. They're on the ship. They go to China. They're all over the place, and it's a lot of fun.
It was entertaining.
And then the other part of this episode is the Grand Serpent plotline, which is also kind of an interesting time plotline.
Jumping through time himself.
Yeah. So he arrives...
But all the way to the modern age.
Yeah. He arrives in whenever season 3 whenever the Third Doctor was doing Unit stuff, or a little before, and he founds Unit, essentially, or he helps found Unit. And then he's around for 40 years, and people just keep dying around him, and no one questions.
Yep.
Yeah, and his scenes are pretty good and funny. He's intimidating towards them, and he has good power and good presence. This is where I think he really comes into being...
I hope people enjoy my eating.
This is where he comes into being a good character, I think. And he assassinates a bunch of people, and then we make it to modern day Unit with Kate running things, and she's like, "Geez, you've looked the same for the past 40 years, and people keep dying around you."
Yeah,
and he tries to kill her, and somehow she gets zapped into the tunnels. Right? I don't quite remember how that panned out. But anyways, this ends with Azure and Swarm arriving at Division. I don't know if it's this episode or the next one, but they kill Tecteun, the lady who's leading Division.
Yep.
And then the Doctor somehow splits herself into 3 personalities, and that's the setup for the last part, or 3 different variations of herself or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say just a little bit more on Yaz character development. A big part of her character in the last series was about how she was so mad when the Doctor was gone for 9 months,
for a year or whatever.
Yeah, it was less than a year. It was only 9 months, and then Jack Fartness comes around to cheer her up and be like, "Oh, you're just one of the lucky people. Don't be sad when she's gone.
Be happy when she's here."
Yeah,
or whatever.
And so you do get to see that actually come to fruition when they got locked in 1900.
Yeah, and they're so persistent. For 4 years, basically.
Years, yeah. And when the Doctor's like, "I'm so sorry. How long has it been?" And she tells her 3 years or whatever. But she's she's okay with it. She's
right,
at peace
because she's
with
happy
it.
to see the Doctor again, essentially. Yeah.
So that's good that they made good on that.
Yeah.
And then you actually do get more Vinder Bell stuff.
Yes.
He figures out the Swarm is putting people in these things called passengers, which are just humanoid things that
store people. They're like prisms.
Yeah. Mess with your... I don't know. They just shrink you down and put you in
basically. Yeah. They try to make it cooler than it is. It's just the guy that sucks you in.
And you're all trapped in there, and he finds Diane in there.
Yep. Yeah. And
why was she even taken in the first place? Why do we even...
I think we get an answer for that, but I don't remember.
Sure it has something to do with Dan being with the Doctor.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Who cares? Yeah, that's basically this episode. I don't think I have too much else to say. And if I do, I'll go over it in the finale to Flux here. I like the globetrotting. Fair. And then the other note, racism drop?
That's it.
I don't remember what that's in reference to, but they're racist at some point.
Of course.
Anyways, this is also a 6 out of 10 for me. I don't think I quite like it as much as Village of the Angels, but I genuinely enjoyed this episode quite a bit.
Apparently Taxion dies at the end of this one, too.
Yeah, that's Swarm kills her or Azure kills her or whatever.
Oh, and they also like maybe it's this one or the next one, who cares? They like continuously like disintegrate and reintegrate like, the doctor, and it's like damn, wow, the first time this doctor has had any kind of suffering
pain
at
or
all.
suffering in any way.
We'll get to more like at our summary, but this is like the one series out of her 3 that like Chibnall
maybe
finally
can be the doctor. Yeah,
she could maybe have some like form of humanity or character or something.
Yeah, literally. And then we make it to the end of The Flush, which is an episode called The Vanquishers. This is the end to our 6-part little first half of this series. There is so much going on in this part. So the Centaurans are back, and they're working with the Great Serpent to summon all the Daleks and the Cybermen so that they can get destroyed in the flux, which will stop it because it's enough matter to counteract the antimatter, and then they'll rule what's left of the universe. That's like one part, one small part of the plot.
Yep.
And then you have Azure and Swarm. They're going back to Atropos to meet up with Time, who can now be freed because enough things have been destroyed or something. Or when the whole universe is destroyed, I think Time is freed because Atropos is destroyed or whatever. Because that's where I think the storm is converging. But...
This is the first sentence of the Vanquishers summary. The Doctor is split into 3 copies due to time distortion.
That's true, yeah.
That's it.
That's true. Yeah, and so she's in 3 places. She's in Division with Azure and Swarm and trying to escape them as they keep like materializing and dematerializing her. She's in the tunnels with Kate and the gang.
Yeah, so what the 18th or what the 19th century man found down in the mines in Liverpool was that like there's doorways to like different
different times and spaces. Yeah.
So that's useful, I guess.
Yeah, and the Great Serpent's down there as well, and they eventually throw him in a door. And then you have her 3rd place is she's with the Lupari. What was his name? Cavernista and like Bell. Who are on the ships. Bell stole one of the Lupari ships, so he brings her back, and she gets mad because she was about to find Vinder, or Vinder was about to find her, or that's how Vinder ended up in the passenger. And then you have Vinder and the passenger, him and Diane trying to escape as well. So there's so much stuff going on.
It's pretty schizo, but it's not bad.
Yeah,
For a season finale, it's kind of like run of the mill, but it's like in a good way.
Yeah, it is, and it's surprisingly not even the series finale, just the finale to the Flux part.
Right. Yeah, that was like the arc, and then then the specials where she actually regenerates, kind of like Tenet.
Yeah, exactly.
Deal.
Yeah, and it's a pretty fun episode. I'd say it gets a little drawn out because there's just so much going on. You have 2 doctors show up eventually at the dark matter telescope in Chile, and
that's later.
And trap the Grand Serpent in his own torture trap, and I don't know.
Pretty sure that's her. I think that's her. I think that's the era finale.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's this.
Are you sure?
Because it's in the notes.
Oh, okay. Oh, if you say so.
And then they end up, quote unquote, hoovering up the flux. I don't remember with what they suck it up with.
The matter.
Yeah, because they blow up the Daleks and the Centaurans and the Cybermen, and that matter counteracts the antimatter, right? I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, Eustace saves Claire, and
and that's actually we talked about this. Claire, this is the one death we actually care about in all of Chibnall's eras. Is Jericho
Eustace
here
dies in the flux?
Yeah,
I forget why Claire's there or why Claire survives or something. When did she even get out of like the whole?
I don't remember.
When did that happen?
I don't remember. They just go pick her up. That's what happens. Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You have a fucking time machine. There's no Amy Rory situation.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a little confusing at times. There's a lot going on, but I thought it was a fine finale for what it is. Yeah, I'm very scattered because I don't quite remember when everything happened.
It is very all over the place.
And then it ends with the Doctor meeting Time.
Yeah, so she gets away. So she comes back to herself, right? She's just in her one place.
Yeah.
With Azure
and Swarm and Atropos.
And they want to meet Time.
Yeah, because Time is their master. They're trying to free Time from the things that were holding it.
It just takes on your whatever you look like. So it looks
which is
like
a
Swarm
very good choice.
And then it destroys Swarm and Azure, I guess.
Because they failed.
Because they're losers.
Yeah.
And then it takes on the form of the
dropped.
Doctor, and the Doctor's like, is it my turn?
She's like, not yet.
Nope. Something Master calls. Something.
Yeah, your Master calls, yeah.
And it's like, she's like, Master. Yeah.
But yeah, I like that choice. If they would have given it a form, it would have ruined it.
Probably.
And again, that's such an interesting idea. As Time is a cosmic being that needs to be controlled, or it'll get out of hand. It's very bizarre. It's very Moffat, and I appreciate that. Yeah, not too much else to say. Somehow the Centaurans, these supposedly stupid warrior race, have come up with this genius plan to wipe out everyone else and stop the flux. Who cares? Yeah, you have anything else to say for this? I have a shit ton of notes, so.
No.
All right. This is good. Your dark energy camera, sir.
Mm-hmm. We were losing about the dark energy.
Dark matter camera and Sheila.
Yeah.
Editing. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Probably bad because it was just so fast paced.
Probably bad.
Paul Hollywood handshake. She says that at one point. Like, I'm gonna give you a Paul Hollywood handshake. We're like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about, you psychopath?
Yes, the dark energy camera in Chile, which is real apparently.
It's real.
Which explains the next note. Oh shit, it's real. A lot of Star Wars wipes in this, which contributes.
Oh yeah, there were.
Makes it feel very Star Wars.
I think I liked it.
I didn't mind it. I thought they worked fine.
Yeah, in that context, they kind of were okay.
I don't know what this was in reference to. Me on the bathroom. Followed by psychic load.
Oh, yeah.
Stank to all shits. Hoover up that flux. Time as a cosmic being and the dripped out posse pussy. And then finally, Chibnall edged me so hard.
He fucking edged us.
This is a 4 out of 10 for me. I like this one a fair amount too. I don't think it's quite as good. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's good, yeah. It's a fine finale. You know I hate most of the finales, so I'll take it. And then we have 3 specials to end Jodie Whittaker's era, to end this series, to end Chibnall.
Thank God.
We're so close. The first one is Eve of the Daleks, which is the New Year's special for this year. Take it away. Take it away.
I don't have...
Take it away.
I don't... Okay.
Take it away.
So the premise starts with... it's a Groundhog Day episode.
It is,
kind of.
It's kind of the first time we've seen this, really.
Yeah, which is surprising, because it's a time-traveling sci-fi show.
Right?
And... the premise is this girl's working on New Year's Eve at a self-storage unit spot, and this one guy comes in that always comes in and stores everything there. He's the only customer.
Yeah, and he comes in every New Year's, yeah.
It's very cute. He comes in every New Year's around midnight. I wonder why. She's Scottish.
I think she's Irish, isn't she?
Oh, maybe.
It sounds... I don't know. She's one of them.
He's not-ish because he's Rasta.
Yeah.
And... yeah, Dalek shows up, kills him. Doctor and whoever Yaz and Dan show up, and the TARDIS is having a hard time, having a go
freak,
of it,
yeah.
and the dog kills them too.
Yeah.
And then it starts over again, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what this is. And they have memories of it, the 5 of them.
Yep.
And so they just keep trying to figure out how to outsmart these Daleks, and like more and more show up. And I think they're just like, we're just trying to execute you for what you did at the Flux.
Yeah, exactly, because she killed all the Dalek fleets.
Yeah, but she's like, I just hijacked the Sontaran plan anyway.
Yeah. Sure you did. Sure.
Yeah, they get it right. The plan works. Doctor is actually, for the first time, like, I mean, you could always assume the Doctor's working under stress in all of these situations, but for this one, it feels a little more real. Yeah. It shows. Even though I think when this Doctor gets mad, her delivery feels more like a mad school teacher to me, but that's just my opinion. As opposed to like the booming
like Tennant or something,
like, summoned by like Tennant
or Eccleston even,
or any of them really.
Yeah, I don't know about Matt Smith. His yelling was kind of the school teacher stuff too.
You think so? No, I think
sometimes
I
he
think
did really
his
well.
was more just funny.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He was because he's like a monkey man.
Like monkey man.
But it's not bad. They figured out they figured out by, of course, Dr. Terror style blows up the self-storage place.
Yep.
And ends the time stream. I guess it was the TARDIS that was keeping them alive, keeping it going.
I don't think it's ever really explained. I think she goes up to the TARDIS and is like, always looking out for me.
Something like that.
But
maybe it's not.
Like, I don't think it really is ever
why would the
explained.
Daleks be doing it?
Right, because they were trying to kill her. Yeah, they weren't.
And, of course, the Scottish girl and Rasta man get together.
Yep.
I'm still calling her Scottish. Maybe she's Irish.
One of those.
And, and what is mostly harped on in this episode is Yaz's feelings for... Well, I guess in these last 3 specials altogether...
Yeah, that's a big part of it,
is Yaz's feelings for the Doctor.
Yep.
And Dan has obviously picked up on them.
Yeah.
And is like, why don't you just tell her how you feel? And even at one point when it's just the Doctor and Dan brings it up and is like, like, she likes you, right? Like, she actually likes you. And the Doctor is obviously, like, dismissive.
Yeah, she's like,
think about
it. I like everyone, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is actually one of the only good parts to this Doctor is how she responds to this. It's not so much in this one, it's in the next one.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite performance from her.
Honestly, yeah, no, episode. Absolutely. I agree.
Not even her regeneration, I don't think was that impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways. And for these last 3 specials, when they're making it blaringly obvious, like Yaz has a crush on the Doctor, we're like we're daring them. We're daring them for the BBC to have them kiss. But it never comes.
It never happens, yeah.
Anyway.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically this episode. There's not too much to say. That's the plot of it. You can picture how it goes in your mind. There's some good trying to outmaneuver the Daleks and the Daleks trying to outmaneuver them. It's competently written.
It's like one of those low budget episodes that but it still holds up.
Yeah, it's like a bottle episode.
Yeah.
My notes here are, have you been practicing that? Freezes, dies. Which was our television, not the characters. Mm-hmm. Sonic. She's always scanning dead people with the Sonic and pointing it around and pointing at a Dalek.
Never a dull moment.
This Dalek does have the machine gun laser cannon, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like a Gatling laser hand.
That woman is a jump scare. I think that's in reference to the mom of the main girl.
Yeah, she keeps calling her like just
the lines are gonna be long at midnight. Yeah. Finally, a Chibnall win. I don't know what that's in reference to. Finally, he did it.
He did it.
This is good. It's a really midnight. That's 2 words, night, because it's night, and everyone there is mid. It's from this episode, because my next note is, you have come looking at that hologram.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's from this one.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, there's no way I didn't put that in the notes. Finally, no kiss. It's such a perfect moment. And they don't do it. Yeah. That's the final note is no kiss.
No kiss.
Because they have fireworks going and everyone's smooching. It's New Year's, but no kiss.
Could have happened.
No kiss. This is a 4 out of 10 for me.
Could have had our first interracial lesbian kiss on Doctor Who.
Missed out.
Is that funny, Dalton?
I thought this episode was pretty fine. Pretty yeah.
It was serviceable.
And then
What did you get?
4.
Okay.
Everyone's gonna hate this take, but we get maybe one of the best episodes in this season.
No,
next.
I'm around on this one. It's the effects are laughably bad. We'll get into it.
This is a Davies episode in the Chibnall era.
Absolutely. One of the throwaway Davies episodes.
Yeah, literally. This is Legend of the Sea Devils. The TARDIS gets sucked into 16th, I think, century China, because there's some kind of time pulse. They skip stones on the waves of the ocean, and the stone gets sucked away.
They skip stones on the choppy water.
Yeah.
And it's, it's like a green screen in or whatever. It's so bad.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, and they've ended up in 16th century China here, or something along those lines. There's a pirate queen almost who frees a sea devil that has been frozen so she can find some ancient treasure.
I don't think she meant to. She just wanted the treasure because she's like a misunderstood character.
Yeah, because she has to pay for her crew to be released because they've been taken.
And the sea devils are... What, they look pretty much like they do in Classic Who? They just have a big...
pretty similar. They look a lot better than they did in Classic Who.
I guess they look better, but
yeah, it's still goofy.
They just barely do like video manipulation.
Right, their mouth just doesn't move at all. Yeah,
barely. It's like, but I like it. It's goofy.
I do too.
They have a floating
ghost pirate ship. Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, there's not much to say about the plot of this episode. It's just a goofy, silly, fun episode. There's an ancient Chinese pirate who took some gold. I don't think this
one was go ahead.
And made a deal with the Sea Devils, but he didn't really. He was tricking them so his crew could get away.
Was he even a pirate, or was he just a captain? Was he just
I don't know. I think he was a pirate, I'm pretty sure, but maybe not. And they've trapped him for 200, 300 years, however long.
Like 300 years, because it was like 15 to 18 something.
Yeah, that sounds... Oh, yeah, shoot, it does take place in 18, and 15 is the old one.
Yeah, 1809 or some shit.
And then there's a giant sea monster that's like the controlled base for the sea.
Yeah, so we actually, as awful as this episode looks at some moments, it does have a really good shot on the ocean floor.
It does, yeah.
Which makes sense, because if you're able to open the TARDIS in space, you should be able to do the same on the ocean floor, which they do, which we agree is like, it's kind of underutilized, because of course that would make sense. Of course you could do that. And it creates a really good wide shot of the TARDIS open on the ocean floor with Yaz and the Doctor, and then a big sea monster comes and eats them.
And eats them.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it is, honestly.
Sea monsters are terrifying.
Yeah. And then the pirate king sacrifices himself. There's a kid who's the grandson of one of his crewmates. He has the medallion thing. The sea monster or the sea devils are gonna flood the earth so they can have it again.
Classic.
They stop them.
The Chinese man who was in prison kills the sea devil captain, but it's like the Doctor's like, you didn't have to kill him, and it's like what did you?
He was
expect?
going to, yeah, obviously.
What did you expect?
Yeah, and then we get, I would argue, the single best Jodie Whittaker moment that we have gotten ever from her.
She finally confronts Yaz's feelings about her.
Yeah,
because she knows she can't put it off anymore. And they have a moment on the beach where the Doctor's like if I were anyone else, I would.
Right.
But it's but
still would.
You still would. Yaz is a would. Anyway, she has a good moment where she basically gives the Doctor a speech that actually feels like it would have come from the Doctor.
Exactly, yeah. And not only is the speech good, but Jodie Whittaker's delivery is very good. Yeah. So that proves, at least to me, that
she can't act.
She is an actress.
Probably and it's mostly just poor directing.
The direction and the writing she's been given. Yeah. So credit to her, I guess.
And Yaz is good, and she's
Yaz is really good.
She like understands basically.
And this whole episode, Dan's wearing a pirate costume.
He looks like a really stereotypical Hollywood, like 50s Hollywood, or more like 40s
or something, yeah.
Hollywood costume that Yaz dressed him in. But he just rolls with it. Like, he's dripping. He looks good.
It's so good. I love it.
Oh, and so we never even talked about this. They save Vinder and Diane from the passenger.
Yeah, they go
obviously.
inside the passenger with the TARDIS, which is strange, but
yeah. And and she makes a funny comment. She's like, the TARDIS doesn't like it because it's like that's what the TARDIS is it like
exactly, yeah.
or what do you call it? Like
it's an alternate dimension,
a pocket
yeah.
dimension, thing. Anyway, but the thing with Dan is like Diane like rejects him.
She does, yeah.
She rejects our man Dan.
Our main man Dan.
How could you do that? So that's kind of his deal.
Have you seen his hair?
He's like talking to Diane and being like, "Oh, maybe we could have another go or whatever."
Yeah. And we thought this was going to be planned by the master.
Because the next is the last episode.
Yeah, to get almost like
and it felt like a setup.
Almost like series
Martha's
3.
mom.
Exactly, yeah.
It felt like one of those, but it wasn't, and it goes nowhere, and Dan just leaves.
And it's not resolved, and then Dan just disappears. It's very strange.
Yeah, he's like, I'm leaving. Diane doesn't love me.
Yeah.
We get more of that at the end. Diane's just like formally just like, sorry, I guess, or something, right? Because he shows up at the museum again, or was that at the end of the...
I think that's at the end of this one.
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Diane ultimately rejects him, or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know why she even called him, right? Because they don't end up together.
I think he calls her, doesn't he? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Again, not too much else to say. It's
funny.
Silly, campy, fun episode that has some of, if not the best character moments from both Yaz and the Doctor.
This whole era, we've had nothing but just mediocrity and shoehorning from the Jodie Whittaker Doctor.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even shitting on Jodie Whittaker.
Right.
Just like this whole situation.
Yeah, just what she's been placed in, yeah.
And it's not good.
No.
And in like the second to last episode that's meant to just be a throwaway goofy piece of shit, she actually gives her most like Doctor moment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's pretty funny.
I've seen like a lot of people like force the tears and cry over her Regeneration episode because of the inkling of nostalgia they get from the previous Doctors who have gone and actually had an impact. Yeah. They feel like it's almost like some kind of subconscious obligation to care. Yeah. But it's not impressive. It really wasn't. It felt obligatory.
It did. Like, we fired Chris Chibnall. Time to regenerate.
It's time for her to go. Like she left nothing. But I guess that's getting ahead of myself. Let's go into the finale.
So this episode, here's my notes for it. Effects, we mentioned. The editing, I think it's very strange. I don't remember if it's bad or if it's just weird. Probably weird because this whole episode is just low budget and strange.
Yep.
And then this line I thought was funny. History and Stephen King movies. And she's talking about like... people always get two things wrong. History and Stephen King movies, or like people always misinterpret.
I thought she complimented, except Stephen King movies. I thought she said or something like that.
I don't remember, but yeah, I just thought it was funny. She's like, people always misread history or misadapt history.
Oh, that would make sense that she's saying and Stephen. Yeah, because they
so cool line because she's right. Yeah. This is a 6 out of 10 for me. I like this episode.
Goodness. Oh my lord.
I like it. It
might be more like a 5, like so not, just a 1 point down, but wow.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 7 as a joke, but it's not quite a 7.
It probably would have been a 6 for me if it was another Doctor. But like,
yeah, that's fair.
But like nothing else was really different.
Yeah, exactly. I also just like the nautical aesthetic.
That's true. I wanted my sea monster, and they finally
gave it to you.
Me.
And it was
okay, good. It looked good. Yeah.
So then we get to the final Jodie Whittaker episode. I think on HBO it's called what is it called? The Centenary Special or something for some reason.
Why?
Which means 100 years. Like what? Anyways, it's the Power of the Doctor, We've had the name of the doctor. We've had the day of the doctor. We've had the time of the doctor. Now we get the power of the doctor. A much worse episode than those other ones.
Sure is.
So I think this episode's pretty decent too. It's got its flaws, but it's pretty decent. It's Chris Chibnall's not even end of time, but like Voyage's End or something, where he's trying to bring everyone back. He tries to bring Vinder back, brings the Master back, the lone Cybermen, and then he's also...
But he doesn't get Bell. He only gets Graham. He doesn't get Ryan.
Yeah.
Dan leaves halfway in the episode.
I genuinely think...
So it's really poorly executed.
Hold on, I do have this in the notes. Okay. I'm just going to read this note right now because it applies to this. Chris Chibnall embezzlement.
It really is. He fucking stole all the money that he could have used bringing those actors back. I don't know. Probably not. It probably just actually like schedules
or scheduling thing, I'm sure, yeah.
But man, it's a little embarrassing.
It is. And then he brings back some classic Who people. He brings back Ace, and he brings back Taryn is the other one he brings back, I think. Who are both very good companions in old Who. I don't think they hold up super
And
great.
then he brings back some classic Who doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're like hologram interfaces or like in her subconscious.
Yeah. So yeah, this talk about a nuts plot.
This is all over the place. So
it starts on a train. Start there.
Oh yeah, starts on an in-space train that's being attacked by the
Time Lord Cybermen, the Cyber Masters,
Lords or something.
Cyber Masters.
And they're like, these aren't ordinary Cybermen, and the doctor's like, I know. Anyway,
didn't ask,
don't care. So this is probably where I noticed it most in this episode more than any of the others. In this season, I don't even think his previous two were this bad. In this season, whenever there's the sci-fi laser battles running from the lasers, the whole frame
just red.
Goes like blue
from
the laser color, and it hurts. It actually hurt to watch. It was painful, like physically. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I just couldn't handle it. I don't like. I'm not epileptic. I'm not hypersensitive, but it sucked. It was hurting my eyes. The room wasn't like completely dark that we were in. Anyways, she saves the train. Dan, his space helmet gets shot, and he almost gets his fucking head
he almost dies.
So
he goes, they can't afford me anymore, and he leaves
so
the
he's
episode.
Like, my check ran out. My check's ran out. Bye. And he leaves and goes back to Liverpool. And the doctor's like, okay.
All right.
And then she gets summoned by a unit about some strange paintings, historical paintings.
So the Cybermen, we should note, took a little girl from the train, and it's not explained. Yeah, but back to you.
Took a little girl. Yeah, that was that. What that turns out to be later, like,
makes no sense.
Felt like
whatever,
such a like insignificant thing that Chibnall like just threw in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, because for the life of me, I wasn't gonna remember that shit. She gets summoned by Unit and Kate to check out the actual historical paintings of the world, like the Mona Lisa or Scream, things like that.
And Ace and Taryn get summoned as well.
Yeah, because they also get like a sign or something.
They got the little Cybermen.
Yeah, like we haven't heard from the Doctor in decades. And because all those famous paintings have been replaced by fakes, like the Doctor already knew this or something, she says.
Yeah.
But like, because the originals have all been painted over, they're really the Master.
The Master as Rasputin, yeah.
It's really funny.
It is so funny.
It looks so bad, but it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's actually like good because of how stupid it is. So the Doctor's I guess I gotta go.
Yeah, she goes to confront the Master, who is working as a seismologist or something somewhere. And he's rigged all the volcanoes in the world.
He's working as a professor, and the whole class has been like shrunk down. I don't even know how he got away off of Gallifrey. Who fucking cares?
Oh, he's so good in this episode, though.
He's really good.
He holds this whole thing together.
So what? How does he get her to...
They show up with him as the seismologist or geologist or something.
Yeah.
And he basically goes like, I'm gonna give you this one warning, you're gonna die. She's like, whatever. And then makes Yaz hold him at gunpoint as they take him to a prison cell.
Goodness gracious. So they imprison him at unit, and obviously he starts breaking out. So she goes back in time.
She goes back to 1917 Russia. Where Rasputin is talking to the Romanovs, to the Tsar.
But it's the master.
Yeah, it's the master.
He looks great.
And he's like, why don't you take a vacation?
Yeah, jeez.
So good. And yeah, he's taken over this part of St. Petersburg. Or Moscow.
And he's going, and he's using these... He's using these cyber lords, cyber masters, and Daleks to get what he wants.
Yep.
He gave the Cybermen a fake cyber moon, and like is letting the Daleks do the volcano thing. I guess as helping him.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Because like gotta bring back the famous enemies.
And what happens is the little girl they kidnapped is some kind of cosmic being that is super rare, and it's living energy. Yeah,
and that's
sentient
powering
energy.
The cyber
and it's
moon.
Powering the moon that they've placed there as a cyber conversion planet.
And they brought the Doctor to this time period. He's in the Royal Tsars, one of their properties or some shit, and he's going to force regenerate her.
Yep.
Which, for some reason...
And that's also why he needs that power, because it apparently requires a lot of power.
Cyber moon,
and he's also powering the moon with his TARDIS that just says, ha 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 ha.
Oh, yeah.
On the front of it.
He's like, he made like a bastardized TARDIS.
So yeah, he's going to force her generator.
And Vinder crashes on the moon.
Yep.
Because he's retarded.
He's a bad pilot and
he has AIDS. So Vinder comes back for the season finale, and I swear to God, we both noticed this. It wasn't just me. Like, he looks
he looked like
skinnier.
20, 30 pounds lighter.
Looks gaunt.
Like emaciated.
Yeah, he looks gaunt. Like, what? I don't. And then we were wondering, like, what if we're just assholes and he just wanted to lose weight? Yeah. Anyway.
Because I couldn't find anything on it, but yeah, he looks unhealthily skinny in this, which is a huge difference. It's just random things we noticed.
Yeah, it's not like important or anything.
Yeah, and so Ace ends up escaping unit. Kate and Taryn are stuck inside. Kate makes a deal with the lone Cyberman who's back to get converted. Taryn blows up the Cybermen thing. And then the Doctor ends up getting force converted into the Master.
Yeah, so it's like a weird not Frankenstein. What am I thinking of? It's like some weird like body swap.
Yeah, it's like a Freaky Friday
thing.
They're
like both put in like these glass chambers, and the Rasputin master bodies in one, Doctor goes into the other, boom, flash energy from the cyber moon thing, and then the one that the Doctor's in transforms into the Master.
Yep.
The Master's performance throughout this is great.
So and I think before he does this, right, he turns on Rasputin by Boney M, and he's just like dancing around.
It's good.
To it.
It reminds me so much of like the Here Come the Drums thing.
Exactly.
With
what's that guy's name? Yeah. Something. Yeah.
His last name's with an S, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like John Sim or something.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, his performance is so good in this. And then, of course, Yaz is understandably upset. We've seen her feelings develop. And
yeah, I mean, he won.
Yeah, literally.
And then Yaz, like, the Doctor's like, okay, it's the Master now. The Master has become the Doctor. Right. The Master's like, I'm going to, like, sully the name of the Doctor. Everything, like, you've ever done that's done good to the name the Doctor, like, I'm going to reverse it tenfold or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the Doctor's like, where should we go? What's our first adventure? And gets on the TARDIS, and they go to some remote something, and Yaz, like, abandons him there.
Yep.
And he's just, like, fluting. What is it? Piccolo flute. What is it? What is he using?
Oh yeah.
He like wardrobes into like a mishmash of all the previous Doctors.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And Yaz like leaves him there and goes to some fucking then of course the TARDIS hologram interface that are the doctors that are as smart as the doctors show up. It's time for them to show up and solve everything.
Because she has put these little microchips on everyone so they can see her and get advice from her and stuff.
Yeah.
Ace ends up going to the Dalek base inside the volcano, and Graham just shows up there randomly.
But not Ryan.
I don't remember how or why he got there. I think it was one of those things like Trolls in Finland. He's like, got word that Daleks are in this volcano.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and so they go do that. What's next?
They
help me
take
out here.
care of the Cybermen and unit.
Yeah. They take them out.
And it's like the holograms are each their respective doctors.
Yeah, exactly. So we get Sylvester McCoy, and we get Peter Davison, who is fat and old now, and we get
what are you gonna do?
I think just those two, right? And then then the first Doctor look-alike.
We get some intermittent moments of the Doctor stuck like in her consciousness.
Yeah, because she isn't quite gone when the Master is force regenerated.
And like the first Doctor is like they're like at a pit.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's like a telephone pole in her consciousness. Why the fuck were there telephone poles in Gallifrey? You fucking retard, Chibnall. Anyway, he's like, this is where you choose. This is like the moment whether or not you keep going or you
wish that you could do anything.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's the William Hartnell lookalike from Twice Upon a Time or Thrice Upon whatever it was called.
Yeah, Yaz goes back, grabs the Master Doctor.
Yep.
Brings them back to the Tsar's palace. And the fugitive Doctor shows up, and the Cybermen and Daleks there try shooting at her, but she's God, so she's fine. And
well, she's a hologram.
She's God, so she's fine.
Well, she was also not there.
And because she's God.
Because she's a hologram.
And they make the Master get back in the thing, and they reverse it.
Yep.
Whatever.
And yeah, then
they go to the moon.
I don't even remember how this ends.
They go to the moon to stop the moon. And yeah,
they do, don't they?
She does something between the two TARDISes, the Master's TARDIS and hers, to like do something.
That's right. Yeah. And then finally Chibnall gets his voyage's end, his journey's end, whatever it's called.
Well,
moment.
she pleads to the pure energy creature to like stop this.
That's right. Yeah.
And it starts like destroying the moon.
Yeah.
And then like the Master shows up and is like presses.
If I can't be you, no one can, and he shoots a beam at her. Yeah.
No, he like has a remote control that's
like
for some reason controlling the energy creature, and it like blows up the Doctor.
Yeah.
And Yaz comes and carries her bridal style into the TARDIS.
Yep.
Oh, it's the closest we
ever
were
got
so
to close.
And then the Doctor's like, I'm fine. She's dying.
Yeah.
And takes everyone back.
And then, we get that moment where Chibnall gets his moment where he has all the people pilot the TARDIS together, the journey's end. And then I don't remember, is it this episode where she decides to throw the chameleon arch into the time vortex or just into the TARDIS?
No, yeah, okay, so... well, I think that would have been more like at the end.
Probably, yeah.
This was at the end of the like season arc. That's not the specials.
Right.
This was actually another. I'm glad you remembered that. It's funny, I forgot it, but I'm about to compliment it. Like that was another moment that felt actually a little more genuine.
Absolutely,
Doctor.
yeah.
Like she like takes the chameleon arc or whatever that would give her all her memories. She doesn't take it because of course it's like. Wouldn't that change?
It's not her anymore, not right? Her. Yeah.
But she like opens up the TARDIS console and is like,
don't ever let me find this.
To me, like, unless I really ask for it. Like, just as a little caveat. But yeah, I mean, it's just supposed to be a good moment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
back to it.
She's
Dan and Yaz join an AA group.
There's literally
for abandoned
There's
companions.
literally a Doctor's companion support group.
And what I was thinking of,
which is, I think that's actually kind of makes sense at this point. There's so many
for
of
sure.
them.
What I was thinking of when we watched this, I went, hasn't this been done before? And you're like, you're insane. What is wrong with you?
What, the doctor companion support group?
And what I was thinking of, a little bit. What I was thinking of is me, Maisie Williams.
Right.
She was like, I have to stay behind to watch out for all the people you leave behind. So it wasn't quite like the companion support group. That's what I was thinking of, though. She was trying to watch out for the people. Because you remember that scene where he's just taking a picture in the park and she's in like the background of it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You're right. I just fucking unlocked the chameleon arch with that. Holy shit. You're right. Oh
yeah, anyways, that's what I was thinking of with that.
Gosh.
What else even happens in this episode? Is that it? She just goes to regenerate?
She goes back in her TARDIS and is like, hello, me, whoever you are. Some cringe bullshit.
Yeah, terrible. All regeneration speeches that are just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are all we go through what does he say? That stupid monkey. Oh, Matt Smith. Talking about Matt Smith. He's a white British man. I call him that.
Yeah. And then it ends and she becomes David Tennant and he goes, what?
Oh, he's like, I know these teeth.
Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Should I go to just the notes here?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Move the Tarsus down.
Oh yeah, that's when they're above the
they're jumping onto the train,
and the ladder ends right before the train, so there's
it's a
gap.
spaceship. You could just bring it down.
Ship.
Yeah. Chris Chibnall embezzlement. Yeah.
Move the Tarsus down. Just drunk.
Indiana Homes 5. Mm-hmm. I don't remember why, but ha 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 ha. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bro straight up ate a calculator.
What is that?
I don't remember what we were talking about there.
Bro straight up ate a calculator?
Your dad was an idiot.
Okay.
I think that's what the master says to Kate, because her dad was the colonel.
Yeah. That's a big dunk on her.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, I remember last time I saw you, you were a cat man. And he's like, hey, we all go through phases, bro.
Yeah. And they got him with that one.
I've got AIDS.
My name's Vinder, and I have a
renegade human in the walls. That's what the Cybermen say.
And then he just fucking headbutts through the wall.
Yeah. Inder has AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They want to be Bad Wolf, but they're just bad.
That is so true. That is so true.
And then he got the suit. Tennant got the suit, which at first I thought was just a mistake, but it seems like he recognizes it.
Yeah, so the clothes were generated with the person.
Yeah.
Usually, in every version, clothes have left behind because they're not they're not biological.
Yeah, exactly. They're just clothes.
But obviously, like,
it was a different regeneration.
Like, something's different about this, and so I'm sure I've mentioned my theories on this before.
Yeah.
I think, aside from it being nostalgia bait for them bringing back,
absolutely, that's the real reason, right? But there's
aside from them bringing back Catherine Tate and
David Tennant
David Tennant. The lore, the in-universe reasoning behind it is going to be something like his subconscious knew there was some unfinished business with Donna, and so it's going to try and resolve that or something.
Yeah.
And it's not actually him. She really did regenerate.
Right.
It's just
it's just another regeneration to use. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same but different. Yeah.
And they're gonna try to resolve it and give Donna a different
ending, a happier ending.
Could you imagine?
I hope he just fucking kills her. That would be so funny. That would be so funny.
That would be such a good way to bring back the series.
He just
to form.
Kills the most beloved companion from New.
Even imagine?
Oh, that'd be so good.
Everybody thinks it's going to be an even happier or no.
Nope.
Oh my.
She's dead.
Oh my gosh. I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope he does that. I really hope he does that. That old Davies would do that, but
yeah, he might be a little more constrained. Like I'm glad Murray Gold is back. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But
at least our terrible propaganda will have a good soundtrack.
Yeah, my hopes are higher than this era, but not as high as like original like Davies era.
Right, of course, yeah. And it's just it's a different series, right? He's working with different things. It's
a different
time. Yeah,
different time.
Yeah, so that episode is a 5 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty decent. It's mostly held up, honestly, by the master, without a doubt. He's so fucking good.
That was a good casting choice.
That was, yeah.
Because it could have easily been incredibly cringe. Because I think Missy is kind of cringe.
Yeah, there's definitely times.
She's okay sometimes, but I think other times she's just cringe.
There's times where you're like
John Sim and like this guy were good.
Yeah, they carry the camp very well.
Because they just lean into it completely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so let's cover. Let's cover 13 in general and Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker and all of that. So, yeah, please.
I guess we'll start with companions, maybe, because
that's a good place.
Ryan and Graham, I think,
are nothing.
They're
just nothing.
Like shoehorned their arc about their dead nan.
Yeah,
and then that just like. Her Force ghost shows up at the end. It felt very soulless.
And they like tried to do things with Ryan and Graham too, but they never did. Like they gave Ryan dyspraxia, which never came up practically in the series. It was just like something he had. There was never a situation where he has to like balance on a line or something, and he can't.
One cute idea at the beginning with like him on the bike.
Riding the bike,
learned,
yeah, exactly.
So his nan and Graham were teaching him, but
yeah,
it never comes back until like the very end.
Yeah.
Anyways, Yaz was, I feel like, the one to hold her own. Even from the beginning, and I think she
even from the beginning, she got better as she went on. Yeah, and she had better people to play off of too. Like her with Dan is so much better than her with Ryan and with Graham.
Yeah, Dan's time was brief. It was just in this last like 9 episodes.
He's in 8 episodes basically.
Series, and he, I feel like, had more. Like character, there was like more. I don't know. There was just like he just felt more charismatic and likable than like Graham and Ryan put together.
Well, that's because they actually gave him something, and they used the things he gave him too, right? He likes history. He's just this nice like average bloke. He's got the Liverpool going for him, and him as an actor. No offense to who played Graham and who played Ryan, but he's able to. Dan feels likable and real, even when they don't give him a lot.
Right. Yeah. He worked well with even what little was given to him. Even though his send off was pretty lackluster, that's definitely on fault of the writing, whatever was going on there,
or the budget.
Yeah. Captain Fat Farkness was there for 2 seconds for nostalgia bait.
Yeah, he sure was.
And we mentioned this. He was very. Wait, did we mention? Yeah, because he was in the last series.
He was in the last 2, right?
Yeah. He wasn't in this one. But we're just going over companions in general.
He looks so old. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, he looks older, but I mean, it wasn't ever confirmed in lore that like he doesn't age.
Right.
I mean, he does.
He does. He turns into the face of Bo, right?
But anyway,
presumably,
I'm crediting this to the idea that he hadn't played the character for so long, and he was given
so out of it.
Things. It wasn't very good. The lines were very corny themselves, and he doesn't deliver them well. I think the only time he did okay was when he was talking with Yaz.
Yeah.
And again, that's just Yaz being able to really pull out those like well acted emotional scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I like that Yaz was like there for the long run.
Yeah.
Because she's clearly the best.
Right.
And I don't hate that there was the whole like she ends up having a crush on her.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because she's like this. It's almost like, okay,
We've talked about
so this is controversial. It's almost like it's not even like lesbianism, and that I guess it's not an ism, but being a lesbian is not like part of Yaz's character.
No, exactly. They never made it that's what she is.
No,
it's just
they didn't.
Like how she feels.
It's almost like it only could have happened with the Doctor because the Doctor is such an exceptional
and
being.
that's I think we've talked about this a lot. The Doctor is 100% a groomer. Like
for
just
sure.
Straight up.
So I don't think it was that like it didn't. It felt like plausible.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, how almost every companion in New Who, something that has gotten on my nerves, but I understand, has ended up having feelings towards the Doctor in some way. And usually it's a lot more overt, but sometimes it's a little more subtle, kind of with like
and
Clara.
with so many of the younger actors playing
they're young,
Doctors
handsome people. Like Jodie Whittaker's an attractive person, right?
Yeah.
And you're in these overwhelming situations. It's such this overwhelming person and strong personality, and you're put in these like high adrenaline situations. Of course you're going to.
Well, you're seeing wonders
feel
that
way.
nobody else will ever experience. And it's all through this person.
Exactly,
so It makes sense.
The only problem I've ever had with that, and we've talked about this a lot, is when the Doctor starts to feel that way back.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor is so old and detached, and it's like, of course he cares for these people, but it never makes sense to me when he's like, oh, I love you. So I appreciate they didn't really do that with Jodie. She's like, I mean,
to be fair, they only ever really did that with Rose.
Right, exactly.
But they also did this here.
Yeah.
They also did it here where Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is like, if it was like another circumstance.
If it was one person, it'd be you.
Yeah. But I mean, she still says
she
no.
She didn't go into it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she didn't.
So that's whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, Yaz, very good. Ryan is a cardboard cutout who is nothing. Graham is also a cardboard cutout who is nothing.
Dan is charming.
Dan has good hair.
Dan has good hair.
Jericho, I really liked.
Oh yeah.
He's only in like 3 episodes, but he's carrying those 3 episodes.
Good guy.
Claire was fine. Binder's fine. Yeah.
Belle is there.
Belle got better near the end, but yeah, she was the weaker link. Binder was okay.
I will not be the weak link. Remember when you said that? Remember when they said that in Prince of Egypt?
I do.
God, that's a good movie.
I wish we were watching that. Yeah.
Carvanista.
Carvanista. Yeah, he was actually really fun.
He was a fun, like, throwaway character. I appreciate them doing the big, corny, practical dog.
Right, yeah.
And then they just barely tweak the mouth or whatever. Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun, yeah.
That guy acted well for being in a big suit.
Yeah, he's just a silly, almost like a Davies character, very corny. But as charm to him, as character to him, which is a
his
refresher.
Whole species dies.
Yeah, he's the last of his species, like the Doctor. You would think they do maybe more parallels with that, but guess not. We left that in the Davies era, I guess.
He didn't die. He like ends up like it's him, Belle, and Vinder that end up like going off on their merry way.
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
End of everything.
And then him and Belle die, apparently.
Because you don't see them.
They die from AIDS, and Vinder caught
Why
it too.
couldn't they have gotten Carvanista? Because maybe they couldn't get the same actor, but it's just a suit and a mask, so it's just a like relatively close enough voice that you could have gotten.
It was a strange choice. I don't know.
Just couldn't bring it all.
It must have been scheduling stuff. I don't know. I really don't.
Davies could do it. You
Davies
fucking hack. Davies would have given it to us.
Davies would have given us the yes, Dr. Kids.
He would have made a copy of the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker Doctor, with a bio.
To give the yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Score, nothing.
It was a lot better this season.
I think there were a couple moments. I think in the Village of the Angels.
Yeah, there were some good stings. Yeah.
Track, yeah.
No disrespect to the composer, but compared to Murray Gold, it's just nothing.
Yeah, to be fair, those are big shoes to fill.
And there's so much nostalgia in the Murray Gold tracks too,
sure.
So it's hard to compare. But this really does just feel like canned studio stock music.
Like stock music.
Yeah, which is probably honestly one of the biggest contributing factors to this feeling just so like hollow.
Yeah, how just kind of corporate this era felt.
Yeah.
Editing, like direct, like shots.
Editing
throughout the first 2 seasons, miserably bad. Honestly, like one of the worst things about this era. Like honestly, more so than just like characters and.
We say as we name everything in this era.
Right. Yeah. It's the editing, the fast-paced cutting,
the color grade, the cinematography,
the lack of any
the lighting.
Shots. The color grading and shit, like you said, bad. But this last season they did make it comparable.
They did.
Or what is the word I'm looking for? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's well done in some moments.
It is. There's some genuinely really good shots, like that mirror shot in Village of Angels. So once again,
it just took him like this last moment. Yeah. Like he must have realized like he was being forced out. And
right.
So,
he's like, okay, fine.
Like I'll have to pull my shit together. Like, it's probably these people he brought on to help.
That's always going to be a big part, right? It is a team effort. We can shit on Chris Chibnall all we want, but it's not just him. It's.
Oh, I meant that he made it better. The people he brought in the end to make it better.
That too, yeah.
So it's like we're all in this together thing, like either way.
Yeah.
Either everybody's to blame when it's shit and everybody's to blame when it's better.
Exactly, yeah.
Other categories? Because I'm assuming we're waiting to just get to the doctor herself, even though we've kind of...
Yeah, we might as well just cover that now. I don't think there's a whole lot else to talk about.
Yeah,
we've shared our thoughts already.
I mean, we've even shared our thoughts, I feel like, at length about this doctor. Like,
right.
It feels very empty.
Yeah, and this goes to the companions too. This was a huge problem in Series 11 and most of Series 12 too. And something that I think they have genuinely fixed in this series, which is everyone was the exact same.
Yeah.
Graham was the doctor, was Ryan, and at times was Yaz. Yeah. Like they were the same character.
The only one, why we sing Yaz's praises is she's the only one who felt like her own human being at certain moments.
Yeah, because none of them, I think we talked about this at length, right? They were all cardboard cutouts. None of them had any characterization, any personality. They just said the lines BBC fed them, and that was it.
Obviously, all the doctors have the whole shoehorned in, like, quirky writing, quirky lines, maybe safe for Eccleston, but
right, yeah, he's not very quirky.
Just doesn't give a shit.
I like maybe when Jackie's like, "There's a strange man in my room," he's like, "No."
Yeah, yeah. So like, I'm obviously not saying this is unique to Jodie, where they like give her the quirky zoinks lines, whatever.
But that's all she is.
That's that's almost, especially in her. I think her first season's the worst in this, where she just feels like a complete nothing.
Yeah. And part of that is the fact that they have to fill the void with this nonstop dialogue too.
Again,
they can't ever exactly.
They can't make her feel like a real like human being, even though ironically I get she's not, but you know what I'm saying.
Because if you look at Matt Smith, who I know is not your favorite, he's one of my favorites of the New Who.
He does really well in a lot of times.
But he is. At least the popular perception is he's that like quirky, fizzes are cool, all that. But then there's those moments where he'll just like turn on you, and he's not quirky,
he'll whip it out.
And he'll like like fucking evaporate you or something, you know?
Yeah, they all in their own way could bring the rage and enormity. To the Doctor.
and the weight of the years,
the weight of the feeling of being this like nearly like nigh eternal creature that has seen it all, experienced it all, war, famine, like hate, love, all of it. And you don't get anything like that from her. And but it's like, and at the same time, the writers don't even give her the opportunity.
Right. Because all they want is that quirky. That's what people want from the Doctor. They just want that quirky, that dialogue, where I'm so fun.
And when they did try to give her those moments where it's like, felt like she was in a struggle or whatever, it was still just like nothing was ever her fault.
No, nothing. She was always right.
She was
except
always
for
perfect.
Demons of the Punjab. But
and that was the only like
that is, I think, the best Chris Chibnall episode.
Yeah, compelling episode from her first season.
And actually, he didn't write it, so that's the best episode from this
era.
Like,
I should say. Interesting dynamic with the Doctor and with like her own morality and ethics behind her. And then everything else is just back to form, back to like blank slate, only here for quips.
And it's so fascinating too. I know that when the Doctor regenerates, they are essentially a new person, right? They keep some personality traits, they keep the memories, but they are a new person. That's like what we talked about with David Tennant and why he didn't want to go, because it's not him anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Both metaphorically and literally. But it's just so fascinating to compare this. You look back at Peter Capaldi. His last episode is him wanting to die. He wants to fucking kill himself and never regenerate. Yeah. And he's so depressed. And he's like, everyone, I think that was definitely... I failed everyone. And then immediately, I'm so quirky. I'm so fun. Everything's fun. I don't have any weight.
Can't drive. Forgets how to drive the TARDIS. Yeah. And this isn't, I'm not saying this is a negative thing, but that's also like Moffat speaking through him in a way.
Yeah. No,
and I don't
absolutely.
even mean that
absolutely.
negatively.
Yeah.
Like that's just like,
Moffat's done.
era was done.
Yeah.
And he was exhausted too.
He was so fucking done. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then Chibnall, and so like, okay, so let's say about this like writing through the Doctor, like the writers bleeding through the Doctor themselves.
Yeah.
Chibnall doesn't, I don't think, have a lot to say.
No,
I feel like he's a
corporate man.
He's mostly a studio man.
Yeah, he's a corporate studio guy, right?
And I feel like, and maybe this is too much of like a personal attack thing, but I feel like
an ad hominem here.
Yeah. I feel like Davies and Moffat,
they're artists.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I want to say.
And Chris Chibnall is a tool.
Yeah,
he is a corporate tool.
Yeah, if we just want to do away with any sort of decorum, that's basically it. But she had her moments. In the end here.
She did. She
had a couple moments.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if those were Chibnall. If they were not, that still just adds to what we're saying here.
Yeah,
that
it's
Chibnall
unclear.
Is not really the one to be able to give the Doctor anything to say or do.
And I don't want to be an ad hominem attack and all that. However, I don't like Chris Chibnall as a person.
Okay.
I genuinely think he's a bad dude.
All right.
So I'm fine doing this because he's so hypocritical and pretentious and just like you can tell he's just one of those people. Because you watch interviews. Thank you. Yeah. You watch interviews with him. There's this famous interview from a while back when he was like a kid. He was like 18 or something. Okay. And he was on a show where they were talking about Doctor Who. He just happened to be on it, and they were interviewing him. And he's like, I'm just so tired of these stories being trite, meaningless things where people just run down corridors and you don't have anything to say.
Oh, boy.
And then
did he really say something like that?
I could pull up the fucking clip. And that's his entire era.
That is his entire era.
Entire era.
Holy moly.
So yeah, I think we are absolutely right. I'm sure he's a fine guy in person. I don't know. I've never met him. I can't say. He's clearly an asshole though, and he's clearly a just corporate tool.
Writing with one hand, jerking himself off under the desk, thinking about Red Dress Clara than this corporate fucking USSR NATO bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, it is incredibly clear that he shows up to work, he punches in, the studio goes, make this episode. He goes, okay.
Yeah.
And
maybe I'll throw in something about feminism this time. I mean, they're all social causes. Like, I feel like...
And they always have been.
Yeah, they always have been. But I feel like the best, like, Doctor, like, ethical dilemmas are about things a little more transcendent than that. Like pride and the weight of time and memories.
For sure.
Pain and then, the occasional, like, this is social, but, like, war and things like that.
I mean, yeah, because this is a huge show, right? This is a guy or girl who has seen everything from the start of time onwards, and that's a lot of weight to carry. You look at Matt Jones, our favorite writer, who wrote one fucking episode, right?
Dipped out.
He realized that Doctor Who is about the weight of the cosmos. It's about, like, good versus evil. It's about the start to the end of time. It's about these ideas that are so much bigger than
one of those quintessential episodes for me is actually Water on Mars.
Yeah, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then compare that to now, where it's this Jodie doctor that is never in the wrong.
No, never.
And
can never be wrong. Because she's a stand-in for Chris Chibnall, right? And Chris Chibnall can never be wrong.
Yeah, and that's more of just like the writer through the doctor. And I guess I don't have much more to say on that. Again, we have acknowledged that Jodie can act well and can bring that presence out at times. It's just a very rare thing given the writers in the studio in this current era.
And she's kind of similar to Capaldi almost. She's a victim of her era. Capaldi was such a great actor, and he could bring it so hard. Such a great pick.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he came at a time where a lot of it was not great.
Yeah.
Now, compared to this, that's a flowering overstatement. But he came at a time where a lot of the episodes he was served were not good, unfortunately. And he got good ones, luckily. Our Heaven Sense and whatever. But I almost feel the same for Jodie. Like, if Jodie came in under a Moffat or under a Davies in an earlier era, before 2016, before, all these different things that have clearly changed the show, I think she would have a much better chance of being a great doctor. I don't know if she would be. It's hard to say. But she had potential.
Better.
Yeah, she had potential, which is sad, but whatever.
Now we're back. Back to Tenet for 3, 4?
3, I believe.
Specials.
Yeah. 3 specials.
Then we're
and
presumably
then nothing is a coincidence. Yeah.
To that guy.
Yeah.
It's him. Nothing is a coincidence. Holy crap. Could you imagine if they got that guy? That would be so funny.
How did we meet? Nothing is a coincidence.
I think we're going to have our first black and potentially gay doctor. I don't know.
I think the actor is gay. I don't know if they've
certain like flamboyant
characters.
Roles.
Yeah.
While at the same time, throughout all of this time, like the only time the doctor has actually explicitly, and even then it was like less explicit, more subtle, like showed like love, like romantic love for a companion was like Rose.
Yeah.
And none of the others, like all of the others were like, it was at least a no in Jodie's Whittaker, and then all the others are platonic.
Yes.
So it's like, and if they made this one gay and then actually showed that by having him in a relationship or something,
it would be strange.
You couldn't deny that would be
it would be
an agenda,
a betrayal of the character, right? At that point, it would be a fully different character, not just a different regeneration.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they're going to. I don't know. I'm just like, obviously, with the person they're casting, like I'm wary. So.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see where it goes, because it has the potential to become a completely different show, honestly, with a different character.
With Dave, Euphoria, Doctor. You heard of that show, Euphoria?
Yeah, I know that.
It's like this really degenerate show. Anyway, but with Davies at the helm, I'm not completely lost on hope. We'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, I am hopeful because Davies is back, because Gold is back, because a lot of these people are back. Like we talked about, the first couple episodes are directed by Rachel Talalay, who did like Heaven Sent and stuff. So like we have a good crew coming together. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
what
these
they
specials might be even more interesting than the
actual
New
series,
Horizon stuff. Who knows?
Yeah. So that's that. I guess we can touch on the actual Series 13 here. Mm-hmm. I was about to say Davies. Chibnall's last hurrah. I think it is pretty good. I would genuinely rewatch most of this season.
I would definitely rewatch a couple from this, and I don't know about any of the others. Maybe the spider or arachnids in the UK one.
Just because it's so bad.
Stupid. Yeah. And I like the Trump guy.
Yeah. So the average for this series comes out to a mind-melting 5 out of 10.
Wow, let's go. Well done, Chibnall. Well done. What are the others?
1s.
Oh my! Wait, the average?
No, the averages were like 2.5 or 3 or something.
Okay,
yeah.
it's still bad.
It's horrible,
really bad.
Yeah. I'm going to give this series a 5 as well. The other ones were 1s. I actually, in my compulsive need to rank everything, I've pulled up the series here, right? I'm actually going to rank this above Series 6, Matt Smith's second series. I think I would rather watch this than Matt Smith's second series, which is
I'd probably disagree,
super high praise, you know. And that series I think has better individual episodes. But it's exhausting for me. It's a fucking nightmare to get through.
That's Moffat, man. That's your boy.
I know it is, but we don't talk about that series.
What's the series arc on that one? Is that the one where like time is like messed up?
That's the one where they go and kill Hitler in the middle, and then they have their Star Wars episode where they have to save River Song
no,
from.
You're right. That's pretty bad. I'd still watch that one over this one, but you're right. That's bad.
Like there were really good episodes in that, like the opener, Impossible Astronaut.
I think I would just be a little more entertained by the Matt Smith one.
Yeah,
even if it's bad.
I think the thing that set these apart for me and made this decision is that I never really wanted to kill myself watching this series.
Okay.
Where there are a lot of moments in that 6th series where I would like to put a bullet through my hands.
Right.
Yeah, so that's series 13. let me give you my rankings of these episodes. I have the best episode from this series as Village of the Angels.
Okay.
I have it as the second best from the Chibnall era.
Mm-hmm. What was the first?
I have Demons of the Punjab as the best.
Okay.
Still. Then Legend of the Sea Devils. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Oh man.
Survivors of the Flux. That's our Indiana Jones one. Once Upon a Time, Power of the Doctor, The Vanquishers, Eve of the Daleks, The Halloween Invasion, and War of the Centaurans.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's a good list.
Yeah, War of the Centaurans is close to a 1, but it's a little above. It's got some stuff, I guess.
NATO propaganda, man. That's good stuff.
Oh god, that had me laughing so hard. My top 5 from the Chris Chibnall era are Demons of the Punjab. I think is the best one from the whole era. Village of the Angels, Haunting of Villa Diodati, Legend of the Sea Devils, and then Survivors of the Flux. So most of them come from this series. 2 of them don't, but yeah. This series was a huge fucking step forward.
It was.
I don't know if because we've reached the end of our retrospective here, we want to have any final thoughts on the show as a whole, or how we got here, or reflections, or thoughts.
Why did we do this?
I was walking the other day.
Yeah.
Up in the mountains when I went camping, and I was singing "Shepherd's Boy" to myself, as I do, and I'm thinking, wow. Was that show just always bad?
Right.
And then it hit me that no, it wasn't always bad.
No, it's they who are wrong.
Because I have genuinely this whole time as we've gone through been trying desperately to distinguish between, oh, this is nostalgia. This is a piece of media that was foundational to like me as a person.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, here's what I'll say about that, because I've had those thoughts too, whether or not it's just nostalgia. And I'll say this: Doctor Who is a good show, but not necessarily because it's perfectly narratively sound, or not because every episode is a banger, which it's not, or all the performances are great, which they're not.
Yeah.
The sort of or less contemporary New Who, like the original New Who, I guess. Honestly, you could say like maybe like pre-series like 8 or 9. The
gold era.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. The reason it's good is because you could feel that there was actually a lot of heart in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even with the horrendous budget at times.
Yeah.
You could feel that there was a lot of heart. You could feel that a lot of the main cast, for the most part, was always trying to give it their all, and they tried to love their script, or at least give a reason for the audience to love the script. And there were good things to be said at times.
Yeah.
By the writers, there were good things being said. Things that are
like
jumping
kill
in mind.
fat people.
Yeah. Like fuck fat people and the British and the Russians and pretty much everyone. Like I'm thinking about Dalek.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That's a beautiful episode. About just like, all living things like craving that touch, that warmth.
Yeah.
And the Doctor like being driven out of his own humanity, like by his hatred versus the Dalek. And I guess I don't know what the what's it called? Rings of what? Akatan. I think that one's a little overblown, but that's I feel
people
like
fucking hate that episode.
that's what you say, but I think a lot of I'll
pull up the list. It's always at the bottom.
Maybe the ratings are bad, but I think a lot of like the diehard Who fans, like Whovians, people who call it.
No, I'm talking about those people.
Really?
The list they publish online, it's always at the bottom.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is there something like racist in there?
I don't know.
That's weird. Okay, so Dalek, Midnight, Waters of Mars. What's the one that Shepherd's Boy's in?
Heaven Sent.
There are these, and Impossible Planet. There are diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
What's the one where Amy's trapped for 30 years?
Girl Who Waited.
Great 30 years. there are diamonds in the rough that I feel like people with just, even who aren't fans, who are just maybe given just a slice of context before going into it, could find the worth.
Yeah.
Even without like the full breadth of the show. Father's Day.
Yeah.
I know I'm just naming, but I'm trying to like.
People actually hate Father's Day too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Right?
I mean, the
I love
effects
that
are
one.
shit, but it's a great. I think it's
very
written.
good. Yeah.
So I am determining as well that it's not just nostalgia, that there are good redeemable things about the show. And what I was saying when we were watching this era, and I was realizing like this era coming to a close, and I was realizing how like kind of overall bad it was. I was thinking like, okay, why do I like this show? The reason I like this show is because I realize that it's basically just, at least earlier on, it was basically just crawling. And even since Classic Who, it's just been like
always.
crawling.
Yeah, it's always on the edge of cancellation.
Knees trying to stay up. But it was, I think, being propped up by people who cared.
Yeah,
by people who
absolutely.
Wanted something, wanted to show something, wanted to give an audience something worth watching. And I think in times they achieved that.
Yeah.
So,
look at every Doctor. Every Doctor has tried to, elevate it or push into. Every actor who's played the Doctor has tried to carry it, essentially, even when it's not great.
And they really, pun intended, they really struck gold with Murray Gold.
They did,
because he did not have to go that hard for this
stupid,
silly sci-fi show. But he did incredible. He
did great work.
He proved how much of
the power of music,
how much of an artist he can be, and the power of music, how much that impacts and uplifts the show. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's a dumb, silly show.
It is,
but
absolutely.
Like he's elevating it, and he's stepping like outside of the show and putting himself into something that's just worth it by itself.
Yeah.
Like anybody could listen to some of those tracks.
To
That's an excellent piece of music.
This Gallifrey, yeah.
So that's what I have to say about it.
Yeah, no, I had the same thought as you in that, like I said, is it nostalgia? Is this good or not? And I came to the same conclusion as well, because I was just running through things in my head. And, like you said, just random shit pops into my head. I'm singing Shepherd's Boy on a Walk. I genuinely think that is not only just that piece. I think that piece is just one of the best, like, TV pieces ever. And so are so many of the other Murray Gold tracks, like we talked about. But that episode, like Heaven Sent, And part of it is nostalgia. I'll give you this, absolutely.
But it is quite a masterpiece.
But I genuinely think that is maybe my favorite television episode like ever.
It's really good.
It's so good. And I think anyone could watch it and say it's really good. I don't think they'll say it's their favorite because they don't have like the Clara context. They don't have, all these different things, whatever. But they'll watch it and go, wow.
I think that's recognize
really good.
Even with zero context, I think most people would recognize, if they have the willingness to sit through it, I think they would recognize the weight.
Absolutely.
Even with zero
context. What Capaldi
like,
brings to that.
Yeah.
And once Shepard's boy kicks in, he's going 4.5 and then he is in the future.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like these nuggets were coming to me. I was thinking of Eccleston going, coward any day. Like that, and that gave me chills when I was out like having a walk. I'm like, wow. What a powerful line, and in context even more so. But even just by itself, you're like, wow. Or, as much as we make fun of Moffat for
he
it.
He said, fuck utilitarianism.
As much as we make fun of Moffat for it, just this once, everybody lives.
Everyone lives.
Yeah. It's so like powerful and impactful. And you can look at the budget, like when we turned on Impossible Planet the other day or Satan Pit the other day to listen to the strings. The budget becomes very clear when you're just watching it in a vacuum in isolation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it worse.
Yeah, it's almost like they got a better budget for the Gymnal era for effects and things like that and studio. I mean, like, shooting location studio.
Right.
But the passion there isn't as much of the passion there.
Yeah.
And I learned some interesting trivia for like another classic two-parter, Silence in the Library.
Yep.
And,
Forest of the Dead.
Yeah. They didn't have a location to shoot, and like in the last couple days, they had to find a location. Who was directing that? Moffat?
Moffat wrote it. I don't know who directed it though.
He might have directed it too.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Possible.
Whoever was directing it or Moffat had to do with this too. They found literally an abandoned library that was like fit to be like decommissioned or something, and like they found that and were able to use that as their one of their locations. And even though the budget again back then wasn't that great, I actually think that those episodes look pretty good.
To an extent, there's like the weird head pedestal thing, or some of the effects are a little aged, or like when Donna's in the Matrix, there's some like goofy effects there.
But again, they worked with what they could, and I think they imbued it with the souls of these people. That everybody, the actors, writers, crew, everything. They imbued it with a lot of soul.
And this is maybe this is too big of a discussion for this, but that is a big question in just art in general, is the idea of art through adversity. Like, can you create something better with less? Because you have to be so creative. You have to overcome these difficulties. You got to find those locations. Does that make it something better? Not always. Sometimes you can look at Stanley Kubrick and he gets, all these millions to make a masterpiece. But sometimes you can look at Christopher Nolan's first film, Following, where he has a $4,000 budget or whatever and makes it work. And that might be a question to Doctor Who as well, as did the adversity they faced earlier on affect how creative they had to be?
Push them to almost do better.
Yeah. And
in other ways.
And I came to the same conclusion as you, that overall the show is good. It's not a bad show. It has bad episodes. It has bad moments. It has bad effects. It has bad acting at times.
It's good, but not because it's perfect.
Yeah. And the conclusion I came to is that it is, like you said, full of masterpieces. And I don't mean that as just full episodes. There are full episodes that are masterpieces.
There are moments
like
that are
Midnight,
masterpieces.
Blank, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, what stood out to me was the moments, the things that are like, holy shit, I'll just sit up at night and think of these fucking things. Partially because, I watched it back in 5th grade and it is a
so that's
foundational piece of media for me.
Piece of nostalgia working its way. But
also I think it would happen for anyone. And maybe not, but I genuinely think so. Like I think I have some of these written down. The Heaven Sent montage is the big one for me.
Okay.
I think that is my favorite thing they have ever done in the entire show.
That's fair, yeah.
I love Donna in Turn Left when she's gonna die, and you have that Murray Gold track. I think it's called A Dazzling End.
Yeah.
The Coward Any Day, classic. The Just This Once. Wow, look, I remembered all of them.
I gotta put it in there. I know this is a bigger one for me than for you, but Tenet's Regeneration, I absolutely love it. That's probably Heaven Sent. I think is objectively the best.
Yeah,
like in an objective artwork kind of sense. But personally, I think
and art's all about
might be my favorite.
How much it affects you, right?
Yeah,
so
from the moment he has to take Wilfred's place to the moment he regenerates, I think is and yeah, it like kind of drags on. It's a little cheesy. He like goes and says everyone, people, but the moments where he has his like outburst and doesn't want to like he like
could have done so much more,
but of course he still has to do it.
Yeah,
and, like and him like defiantly like not
like genuinely mad at Wilf and stuff. Yeah. I have all the Father's Day interactions. People hate that, apparently. People hate that episode.
It's so good.
It's so weird.
I didn't care about that episode as a kid.
I didn't either, yeah.
But then rewatching it, I'm like, damn, that's good.
It is. The Big Bang Backwards, I like it. Big fan. The Waters of Mars ending, obviously.
So good.
Honestly, another one of those that's like just genuinely one of the best scenes from TV. And it's silly because it's from, this goofy sci-fi show, but genuinely.
She's like, who says you can do that or something like that?
Who gave you the power?
He's like, I did. Yeah.
And then you just hear the gunshot and like Valley Detchum. Yeah.
The only thing that'd make it better if it wasn't a silly sci-fi gun. Yeah, could you imagine if it was just like a fucking revolver?
Blood splatter on the window.
Gosh.
I have the ending of Vincent and the Doctor as well.
Remember when Doctor Who used to have people kill themselves? Oh my gosh, dude.
I do.
We're not wrong when like something is missing.
Something changed. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's been a slow change too. I don't think it's just Chibnall.
Yeah.
I think this bleeds into Moffat.
And that's why I think that even with Davies coming back, things could still be pretty bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because it bleeds into Moffat, but Moffat was enough of an artist.
Yeah.
He cared enough
to push through
to still make something good out of it.
Yeah.
I have the ending of Vincent and the Doctor as well, which is just so like beautifully tragic.
And another, I know I mentioned it briefly, but another like smaller moment when they have to abandon the second Amy from the girl who waited, like the older Amy, like that was
when he locks her outside the fucking TARDIS.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Oh shit,
that's a moment. That is
there. God, Moffat, what is wrong with you? What is fucking wrong with you? Yeah. And there's so many moments like that for me throughout the show, and just like attachments to these characters too, and part of that's the nostalgia, of course, right? But like attachments to Eccleston and his performance, and to early Rose, and to later on to Clara, and I don't know. There's connections that you were able to build with these characters because the actors cared, and the directors cared, and the writers cared, and
maybe it's a slight betrayal of the character, but as a kid, like the goodbye on like Bad Wolf Bay or whatever. I mean, that got me like as a kid.
Sure,
I was like, damn. Yeah. No, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that. That was just like an idea I had when I was walking, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? This show is good. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Breaking Bad. I mean, I love that show, but
the conclusion I reached in rewatching all this shit is that there are points where it is worth it.
It's like life. There are a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of those ups just make all those downs worth it.
Sometimes you get a timeless child. Sometimes you get a nothing. That's it.
You're dead. Fuck you.
You killed yourself. I guess the final thing I wanted to do is just obsessively talk about lists here.
Of course.
As always. let's talk about companion lists here. Who would you say ended up being your favorite? Still Rose?
You know, maybe it's like recency bias, but Clara, I really liked Clara on this rewatch.
Yeah.
I really liked her. She might take the cake. Is that yours too?
That is mine, yeah. Well, actually mine is Graham.
Oh, of course. No, yeah. Clara might take the cake. Rose coming in a close second. I honestly might have her and Martha at the same level.
That's fair. I like Martha more than... I like Martha.
Yeah. I might have it Clara.
It's because I clone Martha.
Here's what I might have it at. Like Clara, Donna, Martha, and Rose are kind of at the same level. Amy, Rory. I don't know, fucking Billy. Who else do we got? Yeah,
actually, our first two are the same. I have Clara. I have some old Who ones in here, too, so I'll skip those. But Clara, Donna...
did marry Danny Pink, though. Or date Danny Pink, though.
Danny Stink.
More like Danny Stink.
I have, Clara, Donna at 2. I have Martha at 3. And then Rose. Okay, our top 4 is the same. Okay.
Well, I think at this point in my head, I like Martha the same as Rose.
But close enough.
Yeah.
Then I have our boy, Nardole.
I'd maybe put Mickey above my Nardole.
Oh, I don't have Mickey on here. I didn't count him.
There,
Pizza.
Yeah.
That's the first fucking episode. Think about that.
You gotta put Mickey on there, man.
I have Nardole, Bill, Rory, Dan.
Damn.
Amy.
Rory's below Nardole and Bill?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yaz, Graham, Ryan.
I'd probably put Yaz above Bill.
Really?
Yeah. I don't give a shit about Bill.
I respect that.
I do not give a shit. I care about Yaz more.
I might put Yaz above Amy.
Wow. Okay.
I think I told you this. Amy was my favorite as a kid, and I think the only reason is because she was hot.
She's hot. Moffat always talks about her legs.
Yeah.
Like, chill out.
Miss Legs, yeah.
What are you talking about? Was it because she's tall? I don't
know. On a rewatch, she is maybe one of my least favorites. Dang. Because, we talked about this. She's like... She's cucking Rory the whole time, and she's just annoying. Yeah.
She's kind of a basic bitch.
Yeah. She was kind of nothing on a rewatch, which is surprising. We have a surprising shared top 4, though, for the most part.
Yeah.
And then I guess...
Hole.
Where's the little boy's room?
Oh my... No, that's a classic emotional moment right there. Vor will control the entire...
Vor is more powerful than anything in this world. Then I have a series ranking here. You can't leave. You're strapped to this chair, so I read off a list to you. Series 1 ended up being my favorite.
Let's go.
Series 1. I think it is... there's 2 kind of shitters in there, but I honestly think it is... The consistency of it is insane to me.
Very consistently good.
And not only like consistently good, but consistently like it produced like 4 or 5 of the best episodes of the entire series. And then Eccleston's just great, right? Eccleston and Rose are just great.
Empty Child.
I'll get to them. Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. Series 1 ended up being the best. I have Series 3 at my number 2. Which is not something I expected. It is Martha, yeah.
I like Martha. I like that series, but the Space Jesus thing is like your key Dalek interface console solve everything button.
Yeah,
that's the similar
I think we've talked about this, for hours on end. Yeah. But the difference is that one was set up. I know we agree it wasn't set up well, but it was at least set up. That's the difference. Yeah. It's not just like Davros put the destroy all Daleks button in his prison.
You really did do that, didn't
you? The reality bomb.
Yeah. Season 4 is probably my favorite.
That's basic white girl pick. Try again.
Don't care. Season 1 is probably objectively better.
Yeah.
But at this moment, sitting in this chair with the fondness of my memories,
Yeah.
it's probably 4.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. You're the basic white girl with the Tennant favorite, the Series 4 favorite.
He's a corked up white boy, goated with the sauce. So no, but I love Eccleston. I love season 1. It is objectively good.
And it's such a good start to the revival. Next, I have Series 7, which is Matt Smith's last one. The first one with Clara. It's the one that's like split into 2. I like it. I'm a big fan.
I like the one where she dies more than that, I feel like.
Yeah, 9?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. These are just, I don't have a set in stone.
I know, yeah.
I don't have the hard numbers.
We're just thinking about it,
no, you're not thinking, you got the hard numbers. You have your data.
Well, I'm insane,
Yeah, which is fine. My responses are just like whatever I
emotional
have
at the moment,
because I don't have the hard data.
Next, I got Series 5, Matt Smith's first one. Big Smith guy over here. Don't talk about 6. Don't talk about Series 6.
Talk about 6.
Then I have Series 4.
Okay.
To be honest, all of those are, except for one, all of those are pretty similar to me. Mm-hmm. Like, this pretty similar caliber. Then I have Series 9. That's the one where Clara dies, Heaven Sent and all that.
If only.
Then I have Series 10, which is the one after that. Then I have Series 8, which is the one before that.
10's the one after that?
10 is with Bill and Nardole.
Oh, wait, no. 2 is bad, isn't it?
2 is really bad,
2 is bad, isn't it?
2
I'd
is
probably
really
put 3
bad.
above 9, but so do you. Right?
Yeah. And then after 10, I have, I already said that, I have 8, and then I have Series 2, which is still good. It has Impossible Planet, it has, all these things. It just has some
Blink
stinkers.
Is 3, right?
Blink is 3, yeah. Then I have the underdog pick here, Series 13. Whoa.
Let's go, yeah.
Then 6, 11, 12 as the closer there. It's Timeless Child. I think we talked about this. I think 12 might be better overall, but man.
Did you give that one a 0?
I sure did. I sure did. We've watched 175 episodes of this shit. Think about that before you kill yourself tonight. Final thing, and you can emotionally jump in on this.
Okay, I will.
I just wanted to talk about the all-time classics, kind of give like the top 10 of where I'm sitting. And my list is very far from objective. In fact, there's one pick in here that most people would scratch their heads at. Yeah, that's number 1, actually. Anyways, I have Heaven Sent at 1. Yeah. I genuinely think it's tied for maybe like 2 other things as just my favorite TV thing ever, and just a like beautiful piece of art. Number 2, this is my sus pick for people.
Oh boy,
this is my nostalgia end of time pick. Time of the Doctor, Matt Smith's Regeneration episode.
Yeah, I think you did make it known like once we reached that was a very big one for you.
Yeah, it's.
And on the reverse, mine is Tennant's.
Regen, absolutely. So yeah,
I'll give you that. I won't fight it.
It's got bad parts to it, but I like it. Fuck you.
Hey, I'm not. I can't be a hypocrite here.
Number 3 is Midnight. I think everyone can agree on that. It's damn good. Mm-hmm. A little cheesy looking, but that's fine.
They did what they could with what they had, and
they did well. My number 4 is The Impossible Planet.
Let's go.
Not both parts. I've split them up.
Right. Yeah. I think I like Impossible Planet
I agree.
more.
Yeah, it has the she's only 20 and the my number 5 is Blink.
Let's go.
Most people's number 1. It's damn good.
I might put Waters. Well, nah. Blink is solid.
Blink is so well put together. My number 6 is Satan Pit. So
okay,
we had a little space there.
I think I might put Waters of Mars above Satan Pit.
Oh, really?
I'm just thinking of that ending.
The ending holds Waters of Mars for me. I have it on this whole list, this whole disgusting ranking.
What gets you with Satan Pit is the theme, the
absolutely
theological.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Doctor is so I mean, I guess he's not so atheist, but I mean,
he is.
It's a pretty atheistic show, and so of course your protagonist is as well.
And it's it's never answered either, right? Like we were watching that scene the other day where he's like, "All right, I accept that you exist physically here, but that doesn't mean I have to accept that you're a real thing." Yeah, it's good. I have Waters of Mars actually down at 15. Okay. I think the reason for that is
the rest of it.
The rest of the episode, which is still very good. Mm-hmm. It's still like probably the best base under siege.
And he goes, "Oh!" Yeah, that's good. That's what he did. Do you remember that?
After Satan Pit, I have Turn Left, which is maybe my other sus pick because people don't like that one.
No, I agree with you. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
And then I have my run of Series 1 episodes here, starting with Bad Wolf. I think it's the best Series 1 episode. It's got the weird game show. It's got a lot of great moments.
Well, isn't that part 1?
Yeah, it's part 1. Yeah. Number 9, is Dalek. Mm-hmm. What else is there to say? 10 is Parting of the Ways, so the second half of that finale. Damn good. 11 is Father's Day. Damn good. And then my 12 and 13 are both from Series 5. The Big Bang is at 12, which is, I know, one that I think we were a little off on. I think you thought it was really good, but not quite that good.
Which one?
That's the last Series 5 episode where the stars are going out and the TARDIS is exploded, and it's after the Pandorica. And the one where Amy's like a little girl and she's in a museum.
Season 4 didn't even make it above that shit?
Midnight and Turn Left are both Season 4. Oh,
okay. Whatever.
Okay, all right. 13 is Amy's Choice, the one where she's pregnant.
Is that the Mr. Sleep guy or whatever?
Yeah.
That is a good
Toby, whatever his name is, Fox or whatever.
Toby Fox. Who made Undertale?
Those are all my...
I'm going to trap you in Undertale, Doctor.
Those
Every
are...
time you get the music, you fall. So like, then you're on your genocide run. That's so stupid.
So those are all my 10 out of 10s. And then...
those are your 10s.
Those are my 10s, yeah.
Fucking...
And then I'm going to go a little farther because I just want to highlight a couple other ones. Next at 14 is Girl in the Fireplace.
You okay?
Damn good episode.
Yep.
The only time I'm okay with the doctor getting the hots for someone.
Oh yeah, he did kind of...
Because he groomed her whole life.
He liked her.
Yeah.
Well, did he?
What's the ticking?
Oh yeah.
Why'd the ticking
That's
stop?
our class. I think that's where
it started, yeah.
Why is my dick sucked? If you're there.
And I'm here.
Clara, if you're over there. Oh, it's devolving. Wrap it up.
Quick. My 15 is Waters of Mars. It's so good.
There are just those. If you think about it, those really are all those episodes you just listed are really just bangers.
Oh, absolutely.
Well.
Exactly.
It's not really just like
it's not nostalgia.
better than the other.
For sure.
They're all just really well made episodes.
Yeah, and then 16 is Family of Blood, which is the second part, first part. I don't remember. Whichever one's better first, I think. I don't know.
The second part has him punishing all of them.
That's true.
You see him living his second life. That's good.
I have 11th Hour at 17, which is one I know we disagree on a little bit. It's Matt Smith's first episode.
Yeah, I think it's...
18 is Girl Who Waited. That's
good.
Amy getting fucking shafted. Yeah. 19 is Human Nature.
Another one of those, back to... Girl Who Waited, that's another one of those isolating environmental episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those usually serve well.
Yeah. And then 20 is Dr. Dances.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Series 1 fucking carrying that list.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's just a good example, like you said, of it's not just nostalgia. Like all those episodes are incredibly good, and you could turn them on at any time with very little context and be like, yeah, these are good.
Yeah, I mean, the concepts and the ideas, and again, even with perhaps a lack of huge budget, the way they executed those concepts, and the way the actors put themselves into those scripts of the concepts, I think most people could agree were well made.
Yeah. Because we're being so charitable, I'm gonna just give us the worst episodes too. Yeah, I think it's fair.
Oh man, what's the Olympic one?
Fear Her. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So the worst one at 175 out of 175 episodes.
Let's hear it.
Is The Timeless Child.
Let's go.
Yeah. So boring. I think maybe the only episode we had to fast forward through. Yeah. Wow. Up next, Fear Her. Mm-hmm. Very bad.
Very, very bad. L, my girl Rose. L.
Up next, Rosa. Very bad.
I appreciate that.
Very, very bad.
I appreciate you putting it that low.
Up next, the Battle of Rancid Ass Colon. Up next, Eaters of Light. It's Suckus Dickus.
Say that again.
Suckus Dickus. Sussus Among Us.
Which one is that? Oh yeah, the Roman and English. Yeah, England. Yeah.
Up next, one that I think you debate on, Planet of the Dead.
I like it.
Horrible.
Horrible. But our debated one is the second episode ever in New Who. Is it Charles Dickens?
Oh, third. Yeah, the Unquiet Dead.
Oh, right, because second is
End of the World.
Yeah, and that's a good episode.
That is a good one.
The third one.
Unquiet Dead. The Gatiss episode.
Boring as hell to me.
It's boring, but it's fine.
That's definitely below Planet of the Dead. I like Planet of the Dead just because I like it.
It's because of the goth girl. Don't lie.
The hot goth thief Catwoman girl. It's got a stupid sand planet and people on a bus and the doctor going, "I'm gonna get everyone out of here," and
then they die.
And I like that. And stingrays and the bug aliens. It's good.
My God.
Good stuff.
Next is Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
It's pretty bad.
Another Chris Chibnall episode. Then we have Let's Kill Hitler, all-time classic, everyone's favorite. Mm-hmm. Followed by Closing Time, the second James Corden episode.
Yeah, the first one was honestly
It's okay, yeah. Then I have Death in Heaven, which is maybe the only other time we fast-forwarded, or I just screamed the whole time and wanted to kill myself.
What was Death in Heaven?
That's Danny Pink's last episode where they're turning the dead into Cybermen and Missy blows up the plane.
Man, I didn't know you hated that one that much. I didn't like it, but yeah.
Do you not remember me just
I remember
wanting to kill myself the whole time?
Yeah.
Next is Kill the Moon, also from that season, where the moon is a giant fetus and Clara has to blow it up.
I'm just gonna let you figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, bye. Then I have A Good Man.
This is just one of those times. Clara, I've got to sit this one out. He really does. I don't know. I can't see the future.
He's like, this is humanity's choice, and then he just leaves.
And she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That was the only good moment.
That was,
from that episode.
Then I have A Good Man Goes to War, which is where they have to retrieve Baby River Song.
I hate that episode.
Yeah, that episode is so bad. And then the last one.
He loves his poems. He loves his child poems. He's fucking Moffat.
He was, and this is for Matt Smith, right? He was the fairy tale doctor. So much of his shit is like fairy tale poems, right? Because that's how Amy saw him.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then my last 1 out of 10. One of the better Chris Chibnall episodes at a 1 out of 10. 42.
Let's go. Yeah. The number 1 out of 10.
The number 1 out of 10, yeah. Way to go, Chris. I think Chris Chibnall had like 5 out of the 10 ones. And I think the rest were mostly Moffats.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
He's like bipolar disorder. He'll write the best episode you've ever seen.
And the worst.
And then he'll write Let's Kill Hitler.
Yeah, so thinking about those 2 lists you just gave and weighing them, the pain of watching the shit, but the joy of watching the good stuff.
For sure.
I stand true that it's a good show. And
absolutely.
And it's worth it. The good stuff makes those shitty, horrible episodes worth it because you honestly forget
You do.
about the shitty ones.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
the great stuff sticks with you.
Yeah, it does. Like we were talking about, you'll just think about those on a walk or in the middle of the night. You'll go, he really did just kill Amy.
So as much as we're giving our love song to Doctor Who here, this era sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad. This series is watchable. I'd say most of it is worth a watch.
You could honestly just start watching.
Just start this one, yeah.
And that's
you lose nothing.
Yeah, that's the Jodie Whittaker. Yep.
Watch Demons of the Punjab from series 11.
Read a synopsis of Timeless Child.
Watch Haunting of Villa Diodati from series 12, and then watch this season and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And final thoughts. Before we
Hottest companion.
Clara.
Rose. Marfa.
Oh, the list I haven't ranked yet.
Okay,
Hold on.
no, we're ending it. We're ending it.
Yeah. In a conclusion, this show is bad. You should watch it. I'm gonna kill myself.
Put a picture of that in the
that's the fucking thumbnail right there.
my camera's broken. You have to do it.
Please send us money. Please, BBC. We have so many good ideas. We wrote an entire fucking season.